Hey everybody, this is Scott. I'm going to do something kind of unique, I think. I'm going to play Distant World 2. I'm going to reference my guide. If you want to download that guide, it's called Scott's Guide to Distant World 2, really original. And it's on the Matrix Distant World 2 forum. Just search that, you'll find it pretty quickly. I'll also put a link in the description down below. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to follow my guide a little bit, but I'm actually going to play a very hard settings, very difficult settings, because actually the game beat me on my normal play, which was interesting, and that was great, or I gave up because I was losing so badly. So I'm going to see if I can just survive, and a lot depends on luck and starting position. So, could go bad, it could go okay. But I'm going to give myself a bunch of hurdles. I've never played this difficulty before, and I'll be happy if I can get out of my home system and conquer a few colonies. And we'll see how it goes. Now, I will reference my guide and post some, I will follow the guide. I'll post on the screen some of the parts of the guide as I use it. So if you're playing for the first time and you're following my guide and you're following the video, it will help you, absolutely. But there are other great primers. I'm not going to go into super beginner details here because there are so many other good videos that cover that. So like Das Tactic has a great intro primer. I think he calls it the primer. You can search for that very easily. That introduces the game and very slowly walks you through every little thing and nuance and talks about what you need to know as a new user. So I'm not going to do that. I will cover some important stuff. And if you're a new user, you certainly could follow this. But I will also deviate from what I usually do because I'm going to set it to be pretty difficult. So let's get right into it and do that. I'm going to start a new game. And I explain all this in my guide as to why I picked most of these things. So I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to pick a 700-star galaxy. I don't want it to be too big. I'm going to do all this stuff. I am going to put unstable for my galaxy aggression. I usually play on Restless, but I'm going to put unstable. And I'm going to make the difficult extreme. I often do play on extreme. So that's not new. But I am going to make pirates very strong. And I'm going to keep their proximity the same. That's a new thing. I've never played that other than normal. I don't need more of them, but I'd like them to be a little bit stronger. Everything else I'm going to keep as I usually do. And I'm keeping this pretty much as I do, as I explain in my guide why I do these things. I like to make it difficult to get independent colonies because they're so valuable. So I like them to be rare. I'm going to play as humans because that's what I'm usually comfortable doing. It's the new movie Dune came out, so I'm going to go with a Dune theme on this playthrough. And the Empire flag, no matter what color I pick, my neighbor always seems to be the same color. So I keep rotating in the hopes that I won't have two blue empires or two green empires right next to each other, but it doesn't seem to be in the cards for me. So I'll just go with the blue again. And now I'm going to try this. This is super difficult. I have done this, but not on the most difficult setting. So trying really reduces your home system resources and your home planet, your home colony's income, so it's really difficult. And to mix that with the other settings I have, I'd be surprised that I survived through. I do like far regions. I explain that in my guide if you want to read about why I picked that. And I think that's about it. Yeah, everything else is with the way I normally select it. I'm going to use the default 12 empires, default victory conditions, and let's see what happens. So like I mentioned earlier, make sure you watch some of the other videos by other people. They're really great primers to walk you through everything. I still think you can get a pretty good overview of what's going to happen here. So the first thing I do is I pause the game right away. And I've set all my automation. I explained that in my guide. And I think it saved it from last time. I'm hoping it saved it from last time. Yeah, just going to double check. Yep. So all these settings are the way I usually have them. And I explain in my guide in detail why I picked those things. Just my style. Again, there's many, many different ways to play. In fact, once in a while, I like to play as an admiral, and I turn everything automated except for my one fleet, and I let the empire develop on its own, and that's a lot of fun. So there's lots of different ways to play. This is just one of the ways that I often play. So first thing, as I explained in my guide, I'm going to click on my colony, and I'm going to build a small spaceport right away. It's really important for gathering resources. It also adds some research right away. It has a research bay. And then, as I also explained in my video, so you can see my start here, which happens fairly frequently, I've got a meteor belt around my planet. So the problem is that my first scout that's going to come, explorer, excuse me, that's going to come out, explorer ship, is probably going to try to explore these and not this planet here. But I really want to go to this planet for the research right away and also for its resources. But I am going to be hurting for resources because of the trying setting that I talked about earlier. So I'm going to grab him. I can find him. By the way, you can always go into exploration tab here and you'll see the one ship that you have. So he's not quite done being built yet. So before I do that, I'm going to actually go to research. And normally try to get money early. So I always pick this first early. Not always. In a military start, I sometimes do this to delay this a little bit, but never on a trying system like this. But I actually am going to probably pick the next warp level too, because I'm not going to have all of my construction resources that I need in my home system most likely. And I'm going to run out and then I'm not going to be able to build bases. So I really need to expand out very quickly out of my kind of reduced resource home system. So that's usually, and some bloggers, by the way, I've seen some videos tell you to do both of these right away. I don't agree with that. I like to get some funding early. And the way I do that, and I will, you'll see, I'll set it up, but I'm going to interfere with it. I'm going to insert the second warp tech right after this. Is recreation systems, and I'll explain all this in the guide, what I like to do, and transport systems, and then expanded civilian ships, and I'm going to pay the cost. Now, if you do too much of this too early, and actually in this playthrough I have to be careful, so actually I won't do that. Because you have to pay resources, you can see, pay the cost, right? 500 credits for the steel. I don't think I'm going to run out of steel, but I'm going to put it off as good habit anyway. And I'm going to take these two later after I get my second warp. Because I don't want to pay right now. I want to try to conserve on everything because I don't know what my system's going to bring me as far as lack of resources. Okay, so I'm going to let it run. I'm going to hit ×4, by the way. And okay, my ship is ready. So I'm going to take my explorer ship right here. I'm going to select it. And I'm going to tell it to manually go here to survey this because it's more important to me right now than it is the asteroid belt, which takes a long time for it to survey. So, by the way, a lot of people use control right click, which is a much quicker, I think Das Tactic recommends that, which I think is a great idea. I just do the long right click, excuse me. If you just hold the mouse down for a second, it will pop up the menu because I just can't be bothered clicking control, but it's a personal preference thing. But you'll see I'll call it right click, but control right click is a little faster and a little more efficient if you're comfortable with that. So I'm going to right click with my, of course, explorer ship selected, and I'm going to survey this. Now watch what happens. The mission target now is, and the mission itself is survey that planetary body. In this case, I think it's a moon. Yep. And that's great, but I'm going to immediately switch the ship to auto because after it's done, I really, for a little while, I don't care what it's going to do, or I know what it's going to do. It's going to go explore the rocks in the asteroid belt. That's fine. But I wanted to do this first, so I right-click, force it to do it, and then I hit fully automate, and it's going to go off and do it. Okay? We'll let the game run. You know, so it's going to, again, and in case you're new, this may be obvious to most people, but you're going to, particularly in this setting, the settings that I have, you're going to explore as many of these planetary bodies as you can. They're going to show you that they have resources, or in this case also a research base, which we're going to build right away. Or they're going to tell you they have nothing, but there's either luxury or construction resources. The luxury resources are going to make your planet have a higher development, which means people are happier and they make more money and it generates more revenue, more tax money. And the construction resources is what I'm really concerned about because you can run out of stuff. I certainly have done it. This is a very lucky break, which is great considering the way I've set the game up. So we've got a critical research breakthrough, which means this is going to go much faster than normal. And as soon as this is discovered, so you'll see, you can, and if you click on him, you'll see he's working it. It'll give you the time. As soon as it's discovered, I'm going to pause the game and talk about that. But anyway, my goal is to get as many construction resources as I can, or get many different construction resources, because I could run into a case where I can't build bases anymore, and then other than my mining ships. Okay, so I'm going to So these are good. I do in my guide kind of show you what you start with after you build your first three things, and then what what you need to find based on whatever you want to build. So my guide has a little chart on that, which works out nice. So, but the first thing I'm going to do, and by the way, notice that it didn't update. In case you were watching that, you may want to back the video up. A lot of things don't update on the fly. So even though I've discovered all these things, I had this selected. There was no button to select building your research base or your mining station. So be careful about that. Don't panic about that. You can always go into the research tab up here and also the mining tab at the top to do it. But right now, when there's not a lot of targets, I'm just going to say build a research station. I want to click that one first. Some people will argue to get the minerals first, particularly in my setup here. I'm going to build the research. It's still my instinct to get research going as fast as possible. I want to get out of this system as quickly as possible. If you're playing on not so difficult and you're not using trying, I would skip the second warp until much later. Not much later, but after I set up my secondary income from my resort base. The resort base, sorry. All right, and I'm going to click mining. So it will do the mining one second, and it will, I'm going to talk about the constructor ship, of course, if you're following my guide. So the constructor ship will build a research station first, and then a mining station. All right, I'm going to let that run. And if you click on it, okay, and then the other thing I want to talk about is mining ships. So these can save your life. So if I run out of construction resources and I can't build any more bases, they will go off even into the next solar system, and they will gather. Let's say, for example, I can't find any silicon in my home system, which often happens on this setting. It will, once it upgrades to the new warp, it will leave the system and it will get it for us. But it's going to take a long time, right? And it's going to delay us building any more bases, which delays getting luxury resources in, which delays increase in money. And when we're paying off the pirates, which we're going to do in a little bit, it's going to be difficult. So it can save you, but it won't, it will delay you, let's put it that way. And it's really, right now, it's going to be a race against making enough money to not go bankrupt, because I'm going to pay off the pirates as soon as they show up. Okay, so he's going to go off and build my research base. He's going to go off and build my, okay, and I found, oh, and that's my home planet. So your home planet will keep discovering, depending on your planet. So see, I have a trying setting, so I don't think there's going to be any more, but it did find a new one here. So they will, and there's 8, exploration level 8, so there's more things to find, but it will, as you're going along, just all of a sudden pop this up. You don't have to do anything about that. It's automatically mined at your home colony here, so that's good. It's just another resource, and polymers are certainly needed for building bases and ships. Okay, so the spaceports. Now, if let's check my research. So if I click my research tab, you'll see I'm now producing 16 more research than I was. And the second research station is not online yet. It's still being built, so that's good. Now, I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about this, right? So an early game, it's not necessarily, particularly in my setting here, it's not going to match. But your ultimate goal, right, is for your actual output to match your potential. And the reason, or the factor here that's affecting this is you need to generate enough revenue to supplement the research, right? So right now it's not doing it, and that's not surprising. If I go to my finances here, which is a little more complicated than you usually want to deal with, but I'm going to look these 2 rows here. And Das Tactics video, like I mentioned before, does an excellent job of explaining this in detail, and I do cover this in my guide. But I want both of these, but particularly right now I'm looking for the research to be enough income, enough tax revenue to cover supplementing the research and both the colony growth too. Okay, I've got hyperspace. So the minute I do this, I'm going to pause the game. So I'll keep an eye on that, as I was mentioning, and hopefully this will go up, because I really need some early text to generate money and to get out of the system. Okay, so, and this is a little earlier than normal because it got rushed, which is great. So that's going to help you a little bit. So as soon as I do that, I want a second explorer. So I'm going to go to my spaceport, and I'm going to click on build new ships, and I'm going to build a second explorer. And I don't necessarily need a second constructor. I'm going to build it because it's my instinct. I usually do, but I'm going to be hard time finding more places to build bases in this system. So it may be a little too early, and I may be again, spending construction resources that I might need to build a base later. But I'm going to do it anyway. So it's queued behind this freighter. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the private sector. Other videos cover that. My guide covers that. But, you know, what's happening here, of course, in case you're new to the game, is that there's another parallel private enterprise economy that's doing things. And one of the things it's doing is it's building freighters. And these freighters will move all these resources from these mining bases back and forth to our colony and to our space station here, spaceport here, so that we can develop a stronger economic base, more, and just to talk about that real briefly, to develop our development right here that I'm hovering on, and that will make our revenue go up, which will make our research go up, which will make our growth go up, and you know we want to keep that cycle going, and we want to keep corruption down. And the main thing about corruption at this point is you want to avoid pirates from landing troops and raiding your home colony, which if you're doing a military start, I would build 3 ground troops, but I'm not. I'm going to try to pay them all off and see how that goes. And lastly, I've got a new scientist. That's a good thing. So if I go to my research tab and click, which I already was on, and click on scientist, I've got 2 scientists now. One of them's a foreign spy. Not a big deal right now. Not thrilled about it. And this guy we don't know yet. But keep an eye on them. There are some traits that as soon as I get, it's called addict. I just delete it because it's minus 5% all research, and I really don't need that, particularly in this early game. So we'll keep an eye on that. Okay. So right now my research is heading toward basic recreation systems, which I normally would recommend. But in this very difficult setup I have, I'm actually going to change that. So that's why I paused. Another reason why I paused the game. And I'm going to get the second warp right away. And I'm lucky because the first one got rushed. It's called crash when you crash program, you can see on the screen here. And get me out of the system. I don't normally recommend that, but in this playthrough, I absolutely need to do that. Unless I get super lucky and there's a lot of resources around, but I don't think there is. Okay, so now what's going to happen is, let the game run. Yep, my research station's done. By the way, if you want to check that, if I go back here now, you can see I have much more research. Again, I'm going to be below this maximum potential, which means I'm, not wasting research, but I'm not utilizing everything I can because I'm just not generating enough income. And then the setting trying for your setup definitely reduces your tax revenue, which is why I'm struggling with this now. Normally, I think these will match on an easy or not easy, I mean a normal game or a slightly harder game. And without the trying setting, I think this will usually match for me. And that'll go. All right, so it's going to let it run. My constructor ship now sending back. I may decide to, see, they haven't researched scanned all these yet, so I may decide to put a base here, but really I'm hoping that they're going to go off and find some of these other places, and I hope I find some stuff. There's my first hyper jump, and now stuff's going to start heating up a little bit, right? Particularly with the pirates. So he's off. That's good. I'm going to check on these guys, so I'm going to check on my exploration ships. If you see them surveying rocks, see, he's good. He's heading off to another planet / moon, in this case the gas giant, I think. And this guy's being retrofitted, so he'll get warp. He'll get skip drive, which is early warp, right? It's not really warp. And it will be able to move around outside of this outside of my one planet in its initial area there. That's good. But I don't want them researching asteroids, and they will do that very often, so I keep a close eye on this, and then I'll have to do what I did earlier, manually right-click on a new planetary body, and then set it to auto, and then keep checking on them. All right. I've got my second constructor ship. Now, I'm going to go here. I'm going to stop looking at the individual planets and go here. So the mining tab, this is something you're going to check all the time. Shift F7, as I explained in my guide. And so this one's being built, which is great. That's where my research center was. That was the first moon that I was looking at. But I don't want to do the rocky asteroid yet unless I do need Mebnar, but I do have some here, so I'm not that worried about it. But this Caslon, which is fuel, is critical. I will run out of that very quickly. You start with a certain stock of resources, so I'm going to definitely click this one. That will queue my second constructor ship. So you'll see him head off there, and that's great. This guy's going to be done in a second, and I'm hoping that there's another discovery. I'm hoping that my discoveries will keep up with, that's at the same system, so that's nothing new. So the same space is going to handle all three of those resources, right? So if I go down here just to show you this gas giant that they're talking about, of course I could double click here too to jump to it. And so when that second base comes in, the second construction ship is heading here, all three of those resources will get mined. The percentages just show you how difficult it is to mine. So here, you're going to get a lot more Caslon building up in the mining base quicker than the other two. But they don't run out or anything like that, so it's all good. You don't really need to worry about it so much when you're first playing. If you've got two places to pick from and one has a higher percentage, of course grab that one, but it's not that big of a deal. All right, this is good. He's checking the moon here. That's great. There's no asteroid belt for him to get distracted by. So again, I'm going to double check on my exploration ships. Yep, see, this guy's already doing what I warned you about. See? So he's whenever you see this like little strange little name here, I'm going to double click on him and we'll see. See, he's going to be starting checking out all these asteroids again, and I don't want him really doing that. I don't mind at the end when I've done the whole system. So I'm going to go pick somewhere else. I'm going to pick, I'm going to pick this rocky metallic, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it does actually. There are certain, and I'm going to then immediately set them to auto, as I mentioned earlier. It does matter because certain moons or planets will likely have certain resources. So I can go a little crazy here and say, okay, I don't have silicon yet. I'm pretty sure. I can check that here in my resource tab, go to my current resources here, and you can see I have no sources of silicon. So I do want to find that quicker, right? And you can see it says it's found at rocky silicon and desert world. So that's a rocky moon. I don't know if it's going to have it, but you're not going to find it in a gas giant, right? So I am going to pick these over my gas giants. I think I have everything I need for my gas giants, at least right away. I'm going to have a source here very soon. So you can play that game, be really crazy about it. I'm just going to make sure that okay, and now we hit our first pirate, right? So I'm going to immediately accept this deal. When I play my military playthrough, I don't always accept the deal. I don't accept the deal. I build up a military and then I defend them. But I'm going to accept the deal, okay? And then dismiss them. Yes, I know we got pirates, so I'm going to dismiss all that. All right, so we're safe from them. Now, the key is, particularly on this difficult startup, that you don't get 3 or 4, right? If you can get 1 or 2, you'll be okay, right? Our first mining station is constructed, but you really, it gets tough when there's 4 or 5. In fact, I will lose if I have 4 or 5. Or if I try to protect myself, I probably won't. What I will do is take the first 2 protections and just pray that the others don't disrupt me too much. I may then build at my home colony. I may build troops then to try to, because you're going to lose money, to try to reduce the rating success rate, because that will reduce my, it'll increase my corruption, and then that'll reduce my revenue, and that's not good. Okay, so far, now speaking about revenues, you can see my cash flow is low here as I expected. I think if you're on normal or, normal, not trying, which sort of, you'll be at 40,000 or maybe even 50,000, and this may be close to 0 or above 0, which is great. And then if you go over to research here, these numbers will match, but mine are not going to. So this is going to be a really difficult start until I get a lot more luxury resources in here and I get my population happy and get my development up. And also one of my first goals is to try to grab the first independent colony, try to use diplomacy to get them on my side and then colonize them. And then could potentially be a big boost to my economy, and I need that desperately. If I get a race that's not friendly to humans, I'm going to have a big trouble. Okay, so now this is a human event. If you're not playing humans, this won't happen, as I mentioned in the guide. But the Ghost Fleet appeared. That's potentially friendly. It will be friendly as soon as I pay them. I'm going to pay them. And when I do this, I'm going to pick up 4 ships, hopefully some destroyers if I'm lucky, and another base, the Ghost Fleet base, in another solar system. And that's good. I'll get an early scouting kind of report, at least of what it looks like. And hopefully one of my explorers will head there if it's close. We'll take a look. All right, so I'm going to pay this. I'm going to pause the game. All right. Oh, and I found another empire, so that's okay. Not necessarily good or bad. This is more about the. Okay, I found another pirate, so I'm going to click here, and I think I found another one. Okay, I'm going to. Great, and I found another one. Just great. So they're all off meat protection. I don't know that I can take them all. All right, we'll do it. So I'm going to accept them all. So careful here with them. I'm going to accept that one. I'm going to accept this one, and I'm going to accept this one, and I'm going to go broke. Oh, there's 5. There's 4. Okay, I have protection agreements, but I'm going to go broke super, super quickly. So this may end faster than I planned. I did, it's funny. I noticed that when I've done this before, I usually get 2 or 3 pirate fleets at most. But as soon as I put it to trying, it's almost, I can't say this is true, I don't know, but it's almost like they add an extra pirate in there. So could be, I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to close this up. So this is already on a bad path, but luckily we're well on our way to stable warp fields. And I was going to try to crash it maybe, but I don't think I'm going to have the money. Yeah, this is the 5th one I was talking about. Okay, just great. So I'm not going to pay that one, but that's trouble. So now I'm going to be forced to build on my home colony here. Forced to build 3 troops. That should stop. It won't stop all of them, but hopefully. Oh, and the other thing I forgot to do. Oh, beautiful. Okay. So I'm going to pause the game, and I'm going to grab those ships that I got. So if I go over here to military, and I click on military ships, at least I got a destroyer. You don't always get a destroyer. So I'm going to grab these 4 ships. I'm going to shift click. I'm going to click the top one, shift click, grab all 4. I'm going to come down here to the selected ships, and I'm going to create a new fleet. Okay. I'm going to tell that fleet to come here because I don't really care about the other base. It's not super important right now, but this home colony is super important. So I'm going to tell them to come back here. I'm going to set the home. This is right clicking, of course. I'm going to set with them selected. I'm going to select home base. And I'm going to hit refuel here, and they're going to head back here very quickly, hopefully, super quickly. Oh, in fact, they're here. Okay, great. So let's see what the tally is here. 1, 2, 6 pirates. I couldn't even survive paying off 4. I'm going to go broke very quickly, but 6, yeah, not happening. So probably the smart thing to do is to break off some of these agreements. I just don't know that I can defend my home without a military other than these 4 ships that I just got from my agreement. So it's going to be tight. Let's see what happens. The pirates usually don't destroy bases. They can and have, and I've seen it happen. My main threat is them trying to raid my home. So I may have to break all these protection agreements and deal with it, or maybe break 2 of them. We'll see what happens. See, I'd love to go here, and I'd love to crash this. So if I click here, 11,000. Actually, I will. All right, I'm going to crash it. Sometimes you have a scientist who will give you a discount on that. I don't think I do. No. Nope. Well, there's a 3rd one. Yeah, none of them have that trait, at least that I can see as of yet. So, all right, I crashed it because I really want to get some more resources out of it. Now, what I haven't been doing, and I got to be making sure I'm doing it, is I need to look at new mining locations. Okay, so there's a whole bunch more because I'm getting a report from that other system. I'll show you that in a second. But I do need this eventually, so I'm going to build one there. All right, let me pause the game. I'm going to zoom way out, and let's see where that other system is. Okay, so it's let me see. I'll go to my military tab and look at my other base. Oh, actually, no, I'll go to my construction tab, excuse me, and I'll look at my other base. So here it is. Okay, so it's right there. My territory hasn't caught up to it yet. The territory blob here. So there it is right there. There's, of course, my home and my home. And there's the other player, so not too far. Now, an independent colony is going to show up somewhere around here, and I really need to grab that before he does, hopefully. And there's my first fleet. Okay, they must have gone here to refuel first, or I don't know why they can't. I don't know where they're coming from. They should have been coming from here. I don't know what happened. But anyway, they'll be home soon, but I don't know if it's going to be soon enough. Let's see what happens. Okay, so let me go back to my home. Quick way to go back to your home. Of course, you can, at the bottom here is a great way. You can double click here or double click on my spaceport, and it'll take me right back here. Okay, let the game run. Notice I'm running out of money very quickly. And of course, as I mentioned to you, that means this is only going to be about half of this. And if I go to finances, you'll see none of my money is being funded to colony growth and research. Okay? And that's bad, but expected. Okay, we're going to be out of here very quickly, so that's good news. I got to check on my explorer ships. I'm sure, yep, this one is caught up. Oh, no, they're good. Okay. They're good. Let's see if they come up with some luxury resources. Very possible they don't. So if you're playing the game at the same time or you play afterwards and you look, you'll see you're going to have a better revenue than I do unless you started the way I did. And your development may be a little bit higher too at this point. Corruption's probably the same, but your revenue, see my revenue's only 1940. Is this going up? Good. All right, that's great. By the way, I didn't show you this earlier, but if you do want to check on your resources that you have, oh, thank God. Okay, so they're independent colony of humans. That's really good because they're very easy to colonize. And I'm going to check on their system in a second. So I'm going to dismiss that. That's great news. I'm going to pause the game. I'm going to double click on their system. So I'm going to go to this independent colony. Oh, actually, that won't take me there. So I'm going to zoom out. I'll see it very quickly with my diplomacy badge on. Make sure you have this enabled. It'll make you see things more. Oh, and it's really far away. Okay, I can still get there, but it's super far away. It's going to take a long time to get there. And it also looks like it's in somebody else's empire, which is going to complicate things because it's surrounded by a color here, even though I don't think I've met them. I know I haven't met them. So, yeah, all right. It's possible that we can get there. We'll see what happens. One other thing I wanted to point out is there's usually this passive fortress here. And these are some great ships that I'd love to get, but I can't because usually this is a passive pirate base, but if you go near it, it'll shoot at you, but at least it won't send ships after you. And it also often has these ships around it, which I'd love to get, either to break down for their technology or to use as defense. Right now, I only need it for defense. But can't do that right now. So I'm going to let the game run. Now, so far, I've been very lucky because I haven't been raided yet. And I really need see, I'm only up to 1.5 troops. I'm trying to get up to 3 troops. It'll be done pretty quickly. Oh, I was going to show you before the resource shortages. So if you click here, and scroll, it'll show you all the resources and how badly we're doing. We look okay, actually. We're running out of fuel, but we do have a source now. So as soon as those freighters start bringing the fuel back, we'll be good. Now, the one I always worry about seems to be silicon. Silicon and steel. Steel's fine. Okay, good, because I do have a source for that. And again, you can really micromanage that if you want to. I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants here a little bit. Right. I'm still surprised I haven't been raided yet. And my fleet's not here yet. If you look at my fleet, they're scattered. They're certainly not here yet because you can see they have low fuels. They haven't gotten here. One of the ships was close by, or I don't know how they got here. But he's here. The other ones are on their way. By the way, don't try to reorder. This is a tip I put in my guide. Don't try to right-click and refuel again because those ships that are in hyperdrive right now or hyperspace will stop, and then they'll reinitiate their drives to get here again, and it'll take them even longer. So try not to give any orders to the fleet. If you wanted to give an order to this guy, we'll right-click him over here so he's ready for some kind of pirate action. You could, and that won't affect the rest of the fleet, but don't select the fleet, which I can by clicking here. Don't select the fleet and tell them to do anything else because that will interrupt their travel, and that's not good. By the way, another cool way to select the whole fleet, if I go back to this ship here, if you double click, he's moving, so it's hard to do. If I double click on him, it will select the fleet. All right, stop moving. So I order him to stop, and if I double click on him, it will select the fleet, which is, oh, it didn't. There, single click. Okay, there it is. First fleet selected. All right. All right, we're going to pause the game. So I've got stable warp fields, and I have not been rated, which is absolutely amazing. So I'm guessing that some of these pirates are really far away, although usually they find a way to get in here. So I'm a little shocked. And I'm going to check my income here. I know that I'm making a whole bunch of bonus money. That's what's keeping me afloat here. This 22,000, 23,000, getting a little trade also, and fuel, but mostly this shipbuilding because the private sector, the private economy is paying for me to build them ships, freighters and things, which is great. So that's keeping me afloat. But the first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to build another explorer. I don't think I need another construction ship right now because I really haven't found a lot. I haven't been checking as often as I should. Okay, so yeah, I do want them to build this. And some of these, as I mentioned, are in that other system where my the Ghost Fleet Starbase is, spaceport is. All right, good. So I've built another explorer. Now I'm going to check on my explorers. I want to make sure that they are getting retrofitted. So they're exploring. Okay, let's see where he is. Yeah, there he is. So it's good. He's exploring this. So I do want to check out these places. So I'm going to let them go as long as they're not doing asteroids, which is going to drive me crazy. But they're exploring other. Yes, there's three more bodies that got to be explored in my system. But I'm going to get very bad luck here because I picked trying for my setup. So I'm going to let it run. And the new guy, I'm going to definitely manually set out. So a little trick here too. When you're looking at your spaceport, which I could have just zoomed into, of course, right? But when you're looking at your spaceport, even before he's constructed, you can double click to select him. So even though he, doesn't quote unquote exist yet, or he's in construction, in production, you can collect him and even give him orders. I usually wait, I think. Yeah, I don't want that. Money is super tight here. Okay, I found another. Now I'm going to pause the game just to talk about this. That's a luxury resource. You can tell it says +7 colony development. That's good. That's going to make my development go up, which makes my tax revenue go up. So I want to go and build that one. Now, you could go right to the system here and do it. I mean, the planet or moon and do that. But you can also, like I said, once you get a lot of these, you just want to go to resources here and wait till it pops up. Now, you can see this is Ivory, and it did not show up yet in the list. But if I let the game run, this list will update live, which is nice because not everything does. There it is. So it just showed up here. And I'm going to say, yes, please get that because I really need my tax base to go up. This is what I do need construction resources, and I should be checking a little more closely to make sure I have everything I need to keep building bases, but I need luxury. I need a solid base. Okay. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going back. I'm going to pause the game. Well, I don't need to pause. I'll go back here, and I'm going to continue doing what I was doing earlier, which was getting enough tech to build a resort base, which generates a lot of bonus income, and it'll keep that number afloat. Won't help me with my base research and my growth, but I'm hoping that my development will catch up with that. But it will help me crash programs, which is great. So I'm going to click on expanded civilian ships and space stations here. All right, and when that's done, if you hover over here, you see I can build a resort station, and that's going to generate some good money for me early on. Okay, good. So let this happen. All right, so I found another place for research. Now, double check. It's unlikely, but I'm going to click on the research tab and click on new research locations. There are none, so I'm not so worried about it. I would build them right away because it still will raise this base number, but it will not reach its maximum. That's all about making money, and making tax revenue. So as is covered in other videos, you'll see, right, there's annual income and then there's annual bonus income. So we're going to make a lot of bonus income from the resort base and some of this other activity here. But I really need this money to go up, this base, because that's what this colony growth and research is based on. So if we don't get this colony tax high enough, we're not going to get this critical investment into our infrastructure here. All right, but we're doing okay. We're surviving, and I can't believe we haven't been raided yet. So I may have wasted money on these 3 troops, but they're going to protect us. Well, at least them and the fleet will protect us. Now let's check to see if the fleet's arrived. I don't think so. No, see, they're still out of fuel. By the way, they're out of fuel. They will not be able to defend or fire, but they will keep moving. Oh, see, there's our first pirate. Okay. Yep, and he's raiding us. Okay, that's a problem. So I only have 1 ship. He won't be able to take them. Again, I don't want to tell the fleet to attack because they're in transit. That would be bad. They'll stop what they're doing. Not that they could defend anyway because they have no fuel, but he does, and he's going to come over here and probably do nothing, but we'll try to. I'm going to right-clicking on him, try to attack him. Now, what's going to happen is this destroyer is going to drop troops here. So I click on my colony. If he gets through there, let's see what happens. All right, now it's a one-sided. I pause for a second. It's a one-sided battle. Except that I do have a spaceport helping me, and he is going right for the spaceport. So, okay. Looks like he's going to take off. He's not going to raid me. All right, that's really lucky. Wow. Okay, it was just 1 ship. I could have handled the raid with my ground forces here, so that would have been okay. Now, I need to check on my... See, I didn't do it. So, yeah, see, I didn't tell my explorer to go out of my system. I wanted to do that. So I'm going to pause the game. I'm going to zoom out. I don't need to actually see them on the board. They're all in my home system, and 2 of them are surveying rocks, which is a waste of my time. They're asteroids. So I'm going to interrupt them right in the middle because I don't really care. I want them to explore this system. Just picking the closest I can because they don't have too much range here. You can see the range line here. And I'm going to select this guy and tell him to go to this system here. I sometimes prioritize systems that are closer to a neighbor, right? Because I want to scoop these up before he does. But right now I'm just desperate to get luxury resources. So I'm hoping in these 2 systems they're going to find some luxury resources. I am going to prioritize building bases for them. You'll notice I'm not building any of my... I could build 1, but I'm not building any of my asteroid mining bases. I may in a few seconds. Now, again, as I mentioned earlier, they're on manual, so they're going to go explore these things. They're going to override their previous orders. They're going to explore these 2 systems, but I want to put them immediately to auto, so if I forget about them, they will keep going. I don't want to forget about that. All right, so I'm going to go back and just watch my base being raided. See, now a freighter's under attack. That's okay. They will kill a freighter or 2, but the private sector will build more. We'll make a little money off it. We will lose the resources, but it's okay. I don't really worry about pirate messages except when they're raiding my colony. They're more of a nuisance in every other aspect. They will destroy a base once in a while, or by accident, but it will happen. Okay, see, my territory just spread to here, I think because I discovered it, or because I'm surveying it. And I want to keep an eye. So on my mining here, I want to keep an eye for, see, these are asteroids in my home. I will build one of these in a second, but I don't really care. I have some of a source of this already, so I'm just holding off. I don't know that I have a source of argon. I think I do. I can check it right here and just check. Yep, I do have 2 sources, so I really don't care about that either. So I'm just going to hold off on building those. I have to be a little careful because I'm starting with a little less access to resources. But if you looked carefully and you micromanage it, you could figure out what you need or don't need. But I'm just kind of doing it by gut instinct here. Okay, so I'm waiting for some new luxury resources. This is a nice luxury resource, but it's a little out of range. Although I could manually grab a constructor. Yeah, let's actually do that. So let me go here just to show you. Even though it says it's out of range, I'm going to pause the game for a second. Double click on it. And I'm going to grab one of my constructor ships. You can manually grab your constructor ships here under the construction tab. Click construction ship. See, they're both not doing anything because I like them to be doing something, but so I'm going to take this one. He's pretty low on fuel. Well, not low. It's good enough. He'll run out of fuel, but he'll still be able to do the mission. So I'm going to right-click, hold down right-click, and build the mining station here because that's a nice resource. Okay? And he'll do it. And even though he's out of fuel range, and normally it wouldn't let you select it from this mining tab, you can manually tell him to do it. Don't forget, switch him to auto, so when he's done, he's going to come refuel and start using whatever else I queue up in the new mining locations here, okay? But right now I've got nothing I really care about too much. All right, so let's let that run. And you'll see him. He'll take off, right? You'll see him on the screen. He'll take off from here, and he'll head this way if you want to watch that. I'll click here. So there he is. He's going to pick up I didn't mention this earlier, but he's going to pick up the cargo that he needs, the resources he needs to build the base, which is really cool. I really like that about this game, which is there's such a, there it is, see? And so now I've just lost whatever these are. I have no source for silicon. It's only 4, which isn't too bad, but it will go quick. And some of these things I do have sources for, like the polymer, if you remember, and I do have steel source. So, but it uses a lot of steel, so I do want a second source on that if I don't already have one. But he's going to take those resources, he's going to come over here and build the base, and then I'll get those luxury resources by the private sectors. Freighters will come, and they'll bring it back to my home. That will build up my development, which will mean more base revenue, which means more research, which means I can get ahead. Okay. Almost done here. Well, let's see. I've got a couple more. Yeah, I've got 3 more. I'm not that almost done. But eventually what I'm going to do next is I'm really tempted to build up my military, but I really want to steal this independent. So I need colonization, basically. It's only 1 tech. And because this gets somebody else's empire, it looks like, is here. And so they may invade or scoop it up really, really quickly. So I'm not really happy about that. So I really need colonization, and it's going to be a long travel there. It's also going to put a strain on my freighters because they're not going to have enough warp to get there. They'll run out of fuel, or they'll be paying fuel costs. A little bit of a hassle. But the income from this, and the income does drop, by the way, your tax revenue does drop the further you are away from your home. But the income from that is going to be pretty good. Actually, I can tell you more about that because let's zoom in. The quality of the planet's going to make a huge difference here. Let's see what the quality is. If I click on this planet, 58 is not great. In fact, see, the human colonization suitability is only plus 18. That's kind of bad. So what's going to happen is it's not going to make money for a while, and I really needed it to do that. What I'm going to have to do is, there's a luxury resource, by the way. I want to scoop that right away. Yeah, plus 4%. Okay, good. So I'm going to go over here. There it is. It's also got more polymer. I'm going to do that, and it's going to send my second ship, constructor ship. There he goes. And that's in one of those nearby systems, so I'm so glad I sent a ship there. But back to this, this is not going to make money for me unless that human suitability gets above 20%. So I'm going to have to invest in a colonization tech, which is really expensive, to get that over 20 to start making money. So it's another hassle. All right. And he's really far away, which is not good either. A lot of times the independents you find are pretty close, but not this one. There's my neighbor. He doesn't seem to, well, I guess we haven't contacted each other yet, so I can check it out here. I don't think we have any. Oh, yeah, we do. Okay, so he's neutral with us. That's good. So hopefully he's not going to bother us for a while. Right, I'm mostly concerned about the my pirates. Okay. I'm really lucky I've not been raided. I mean, this is... And there it is. I think we found it. Okay, good. Now I know I have no source for silicon, so I definitely want to go there. I'm going to go, I could go there, but I'm going to go here as I explained to you. There it is. It just showed up in my new resource. Shift F7, you should just memorize that, right? You need this all the time. I'm going to hit build a mining station. Okay, good. So that's the one construction resource I know I didn't have any of. Okay, I met a new pirate. I'm going to decline because I'm running out of money, and here they come. Okay. And this is going to be trouble. So, all right, he's going to raid. I got to see. I'm pausing the game because I don't know where my first fleet is if they arrived yet. Oh, 2 of them did. Okay, so this ship did. I'm going to double click to select him manually. I think he arrived. Okay, so I made a big mistake. I forgot to do something here that's very important. I forgot to tell First Fleet to set their tactics to be same location, because the only thing I care about defending right now is my home, and I didn't do that. So this ship is actually leaving the system, or attempting to. I'm going to stop him. And I'm going to say same location or nearby, because I don't want him to go off on his own. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to well, just go back and zoom in here. And I really want them to attack this guy. So I'm going to take my first fleet and say attack this guy. He's going to get the raid off anyway, I'm sure, but at least they'll all come back to the same system. And hopefully with my setting, they won't leave the system, though there's no guarantee. Not a perfect system. Okay, so yep, you can see right here. Okay, perfect. So this red symbol will show up whenever you're being invaded by pirates in a raid or by another empire. And you can see he's got 1 troop here. I've got 3. And I'm 880 plus the militia of your population helps a little bit too. So I have 880 versus 53. So this is no problem. But he may drop another one. Usually it's 1 per ship, I believe. But they usually raid with more than 1 ship, and then you're in trouble. If he gets 3 or 4 here, I could be in trouble. So I really need my fleet to at least stop 1 or 2 ships when there's 3 or 4 ships coming at you, and my ground troops will take the rest. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to leave that window open, and let's see if my ships get here. All right, good. So if they come in piecemeal like this, I'm fine. He dropped 1, and that was it. So we're good. I'm going to let that go. I made another discovery here. Excellent. So that's another luxury resource. So I'm going to go right away back here, and I'm going to say, yes, mine that. Now, at this point, I kind of start considering to have 3. I mean, normally I would have 3 of these because I'd be finding stuff much quicker, but there's not a lot of resources in my home system. But I may go for a 3rd. Right now, I'm fine. There's only 2 waiting to be built. Although this guy is pretty far. That's the guy I sent. I can't remember. That's pretty far away. Yeah, so I think I will build another one. I'm doing okay on money here, too. In fact, I may start crashing programs here because I have a lot more money than I expected. So I'm going to go to my spaceport, build another construction ship and another explorer. You're wondering why I'm not building an escort, because I have no military techs. I mean, I have basic military techs. I don't have shields yet. So that's really my ships are going to be not worth even having. All right, so I'm going to check on First Fleet and make sure they're all refueled yet. See, they're not. So let's go back here and hit refuel. Now, sometimes you hit refuel on a spaceport, and there's not any fuel in the spaceport, and that's the trouble. So I'm going to click on my spaceport. I'm going to click on resource shortages. No, there's plenty of castle on here, so plenty of fuel there, so it's not a problem. So they're just either they never got here or they got distracted or something else. Wow, really, really lucky so far. As soon as I get these techs up, yeah, now see I've got 56,000. A lot of this is bonus income, probably from the private sector building ships. So I'm going to crash. Now I'm going to pause and crash this one. I'm crashing it when it's almost done. Now, one reason to do this is you could get a critical failure. So there's critical success and critical failure, and critical failure will set this way back, and that really would be bad for me. So even though it's not going to make a huge difference, it's only going to cost me 1,000 credits. I'm going to click this anyway and guarantee that it doesn't get a critical failure, which would really set me back. All right, and it hardly touched my money here, so that's good. And I will do the same thing with the next tech. When it gets about 50% or a little higher, maybe, I will crash that one too. All right, but I'm surprisingly doing well, so I got a little bit of luck here. Okay, I have not checked on research place locations in a while, so I'm going to click here. There's nothing. I'd like to have that to raise this base, but there's nothing here, so I'm going to let that go. Okay, good. The tech's done. And there are no more luxury resources, but I'm doing okay now. So I'm actually going to build, get some of this steel and maybe some other, yeah, see, I didn't explore all these. By the way, even if you didn't explore them, it will still mine them, right? So I'm going to, yeah, it's low percentage here. I'd like a higher percentage, but yeah, it'll still mine them. And at this point, I think I'm okay. It just brings in more stuff. So I'm going to build one right here, and it will pick this up, and this up. Now, see, a mining ship's doing it manually, which is great, but then you can go off and do something else. These are pretty low percentages, but I'm assuming these guys are going to have something. It's a waste, it's a waste. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to manually do this here rather than in my new mining locations because it's hard to see with all these different asteroid choices, which is which. I'm going to build a mining station there. I built that third constructor, so he'll probably take that. Right, so I'm not against building. There's some very important metals and construction resources in these. Okay, and they're hostile towards us. All right, so that's another. We'll zoom out and look at that in a second. But I'm all for building these up. Again, I'd build one here, maybe one here later. You know, a little later from now. But I'm just being very cautious with my resources. I believe there was another asteroid field. Yeah, over here. See, and I already built one there. And if I had a lot of resources here, yeah, I might even build a second one here. See, it's a bunch of stuff over here. And that's fine. I'm not against them. And as long as you have all your construction resources, good. All right, so I'll build another one there. But I really, 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 really want these luxury resources. Now, if you go back to my exploration ships, you're going to see, yep, see this guy is, yeah, he's looking at rocks. Not great. These three are not. This is good. So I got one there, and one still here. Okay, because there are other planetary bodies in my home that aren't explored. Good. So let's see what they come up with. But I'm doing okay. A little surprised. Oh, okay. So this is the problem. So there's another empire right here. You can see his territory is pushing up against me, and this guy has moved up to here too. So this independent system is looking worse and worse. Okay, I've got some more electric. Let's grab those. Yep, good. These two plus 3% colony development, plus 5% colony development, and happiness. Happiness is good. That helps with taxes too. All right, and I'm going to let these go for now because I only have 3. Double check on research. Okay, so we're good. So it's going to be trouble. I am going to try to take this though, but I'm going to have to invest in colonization for continental to get that to be profitable. And then I'll just defend it. I'll just put a lot of defenses there. Okay, so these warnings, they're no big deal. I'll show you. They're going to be here. They're going to come and raid it. So I'm going to lose some of these luxury. Well, there's not many here, so that's kind of sad. But he's going to raid it. It's going to tell me that he stole some of this resources or money. They will steal money too. I'm doing okay. I'm not that worried about it. You can't go crazy worrying about all these pirate messages, particularly when you have so many. All right. And yeah, now sometimes an exploration ship will get under attack, and they have no shields right now. I haven't invested in shields yet. And so you may lose some, so you may have to replace them, right? And he's quite damaged. Well, his engines are damaged, so let them go. If they die, they die. You just replace them. Eventually, I'm going to get shields. That's the next thing I'm going to do after I do colonization. And I'm almost, yeah. So I'm at 60%. So as I mentioned to you earlier, I'm going to rush this, right? So I'm going to click here. And I'm going to rush this. I don't want it to be a critical failure. 6,000 credits, not a big deal. All right, we'll let that go. Now, you'll see here I've got some texts that are almost done, which is great because I found things. I was ignoring my messages a lot, the message spam, but I've got various events that happened that let me find these from pieces of a pirate ship, perhaps, in my armor plating. So this is great. So I'm going to very quickly go through those, and I really want to get patrol ships when I start actually defending with more than just those 4 ships. So that'll go relatively quickly. I am a big torpedo fan, so I'm going to go to torpedoes before anything else. Okay, so I think we're good. All right, let the game, it was running, okay. So I'm going to actually pause the game. There's a pirate base here, looks like. I'm going to pause the game, and I'm going to come back when this tech and the next tech is done. Okay, so really nothing's going to happen much until then, and I can jump you there to save a little time. Okay, so I'm back. All I did is I let the game run while I got really close to the last tech I need before resort station. So if I go look at my tech queue, it's empty, or it's about to be empty. It's at 99%. Nothing much happened. I found another luxury resource, which was great. I got System Patrol Starship from probably debris from a pirate ship or somewhere, or my spy stole it from one of the neighboring empires. But whatever, I got this, so that's great. So I can build frigates right away. Of course, I still need to build up my shields and weapons and everything else, which I'm going to do. But my first task, believe it or not, is to get that independent colony, at least to get it so nobody else gets it. It won't be profitable for a while, but I'm doing okay. Then I'm going to build up my defenses, my fleets, and I'm going to take out the local pirates so I can stop paying them. And then I'll also defend that colony. Then I'm going to do the colonization tech, which is over here for, find it, for, I haven't done base colonization yet. So let me do that. So I'm gonna pick this right now, and that's gonna let me build a colony ship. That and a tech I already have, which is expanded civilian ships, is gonna help me let me build a colony ship, and that's 40 grand. So you got to make sure you have the money for it. I'm going to send that colony ship out. It's going to take forever to get there. I need to also save money to give gifts to them so they'll like us, but they're human, so it's going to be very easy for me as a human to convince them to be colonized. And that's my first priority. Then my second priority is the defense. So actually, also improve scanners is a big early one you want to take too, but I really, really want to get at least be able to defend my home and this new colony. So I'm going to immediately go get some important things that everybody can benefit from, including my other ships, even my explorers and constructors. I want to grab early deflectors. I want to grab armor. Oh, which I already have. So again, I discovered that automatically. That was great. I want to grab. I usually will take some the engines and the fission because you need these reactors, because the more warp drive you have, the more you need the reactors. It's not critically urgent right this second. I am going to go for torpedoes, which is also very cheap. So these three will go relatively quickly. So I'm going to let them go. Now, as soon as this is done, which is why I resumed as soon as it's done, I'm going to build a resort base. And that's going to make me some money relatively quickly. Okay, good. So I'm going to pause. You can go to your home and do it. It will show up in there, but I just get in the habit of checking these three tabs. So this one here, and this does not have a direct key link. So resort locations, of course, research locations. There haven't been any yet. And of course, your resources tab, which does have a direct Shift F7. I think this one has a direct Shift F9. And this one too. Not so often, it's not so critical. Right now, it's going to generate a ton of money. Well, a fair amount of money for me. And you can see the red flashing. I think the red means that you need it, like you don't have any currently. So I'm going to click that. If it was a resource, it would flash red, meaning that you're low on that resource and it's a critical place to build a base. So this is telling me it's critical to build a base here. You'll make some money, and I'm going to do that. And this is in the same system, so that doesn't always happen. But there's two sources for these bases. Now what's going to happen now is when my constructors build those bases, the private sector is going to build transports, and people are going to go stay at these resorts, and then they're going to pay us money for staying there. So, and it's going to be not on the main income, right? So it's not going to help me with this number in research here to get higher, but it will raise my total cash flow. It'll help me not go bankrupt, and it'll also let me do things like buy ships and buy colony ships and to rush techs, crash techs. So all that's good. All that goodness is part of my money. So I'm going to let the game run. For those of you who are watching before, paying attention, my fleet has finally arrived in total. So I am going to right click and tell it to guard my home, because it's really the only thing I care about. The pirates won't destroy your spaceport. They will raid your home, and that's what I don't want them to do. Now the trouble is, if they come on this side, right, it'll take them a long time to get there, and it's probably too late. They'll just zip in and drop off their troops, but hopefully they'll come in piecemeal and we'll be able to get the second or third ship. Okay, so I'm going to ignore all that. And so I'm doing well. And again, it's weird, but the cash flow is low here, but I'm getting a lot of bonus income, right? I'm getting a lot of bonus income, and that's why I'm not dropping in total. But it's still frustrated that I'm not getting my research maximum potential. Okay. And yeah, let's see. Yep. So this is the situation. I'm going to try up. No, there it is. It's still there. So my human independence is still there. It's really, really far away. Oh, actually, I just realized because of my settings, I don't think we're going to be able to take this, because I have settings when I started the game that you can't colonize too far away, right? See, so well, right now it's saying no buildable colony designs, but I think it's also going to tell me that I can't colonize it because it's too far from me. So we may have to ignore that altogether. Okay, so yeah, that's the one we're just looking at right now. We know. Okay, thank you. But they're not going to join it. We can't colonize them because they're too far away. So looks like we're going to be stuck in this area here. Another pirate faction, wonderful. And another, that's these guys right here. Yeah, I think that's these guys, the brown. Tekin. So we'll see. It's going to be really tight. I'd love to find an independent colony over here somewhere. As far as colonizing my own planets from scratch, if I go here, there's no choices yet, so I haven't even found anything good. But even if you did find choices, if it's under 20 suitability, like this one is 18, it's not going to help you. Not for a long time. So we're still not in a great place, but we could be worse. So, okay, so given the fact that I can't colonize that because it's too far away, I'm actually going to stop this. I'm going to move up my other defenses, and I'm going to worry about taking out the pirates. I can save money. I don't know if you want to call it make money doing that. I also see that I got this from some event, from picking up debris or something else, or from a spy who got it from another empire. And this is really important because it helps me get those rocks scanned quicker and, in general, scanned quicker and also get a deeper level of scanning. So I'm actually going to prioritize that because that should go really quickly too. And then I'm going to get deflectors, yep, and then I'm probably going to see what happens after that. So let's let it go. Okay. So I changed my priority in the colonization because I realized that I have the game, and it does default to this, set that you could only colonize a certain distance from your other colonies, right? So if I did build another colony somewhere between here, maybe it would work, but it's not going to work because it's too far, and that's just bad luck. As I said, a lot of when you play, which I think is pretty fun about the game, is you never know what you're going to get, right? And you can get lucky in certain areas, you can get unlucky in others, and that first independent colony that you encounter is a big dice toss, and I lost. Only because of distance. Well, distance and quality. Both of them would have been a pain. So we're going to keep our own, but we're doing well. I've gotten a fair amount of luxury resources. My income, if you want to see, my tax revenue, if I click here, my tax revenue is up to 9,000, which is great. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong one. That's the other column. Sorry, not great. Our tax revenue is 38,000, which is great. Sorry, at 21%, which means I'm netting 7,000, right? So it's 38,000 at 21%, 38,000 potential, and I've got I've let the AI do this. I can't be bothered. I mean, I have been times when I've changed this. I really wanted to almost go bankrupt to get my research funded, but I let the AI do this. It's not fun for me to manage all this stuff. Some of you may love it and enjoy it, and that's great. Please do. And that certainly there's plenty of videos on there explaining that, but I like to leave that as the AI doing it. Just one. I don't like minutiae stuff too much, except when it comes to designing ships, which we'll talk about in a little bit. All right, so my revenue's at 7K, which is pretty good. Support costs are normal. Every colony has a support cost, but if you're under 20% suitability and you're very small or very large, it's going to go up, as it explains right there. Okay, good. My development is definitely up to 100. That's great, and it's not 100 out of 100, right? A lot of people think that, or I thought that certainly when I first started playing it. It can go over 100% very easily. It's based on your population first, so just growing your population will make it grow. But you can see that 36% of this is from my resources, or down to 34%, okay? And then there's buildings that will help development. There are facilities. There are other things. I got a critical breakthrough, which is great. Okay, good. And it just started too, although it's only 300 days. Yeah, that's great. That's a huge head start. I'm going to go look at my scientists, would like to check on every once in a while. Oh, by the way, I can't be bothered with spies. I don't like spies. I think that, this is a great game, and I'm so glad you're supporting these very small developer, and they're really fun to work with. Great guys, and I'm so happy to see a game like this be successful. But I'll be critical about things that I don't like about it. It's just my preference, right? I mean, if I was to design a game, but I mean, it's a great game, and to pull all this out is amazing. I don't like spies, or at least I don't like how they're implemented. It goes too quickly. There's a lot of 100% success rates here. Later in the game, it can be really spammy when they destroy your bases, and there's not much you can do about it. So I just let it go on its own, but it'll happen. I love the default AI settings. It'll happen. They'll get technology for you, et cetera, et cetera. But I do watch my scientists very closely, and I do like them. So I'm going to check on them. I want to make sure they don't have a bad... Yep, there it is. Okay, so let me pause the game and show you this. So this guy's an addict, right? It's beautiful and wonderful that he has all these bonuses to other researches. but minus 5% on all my research is just not worth it. So as soon as I see this addict trait here, he's gone. So I'm going to dismiss him immediately. He could, over time, develop skills to maybe overcome that if he had like pluses in very important areas that I cared about, but not happening. These other ones, creative is fine. That increases critical research success or failure. Again, so be extra vigilant. I'm going to be extra vigilant about rushing long projects that I don't want to see, crashing long projects that I don't want to see hit a critical failure. Okay, and then this just helps his skills, but it doesn't matter. You can ignore that. Now, this is incredibly good, right? So he has a plus 14% all research skill. That's crazy good. There's a trait that comes up, I think it's called genius or something like that, that'll give you a plus 20% across your empire bonus, which is even better. But this plus 14% is great. So if I go back to my research here, it's much higher than it was when I still only have my 2 bases. So it's 53 out of 85, and my potential went up too. And you can see your bonuses if you click here and just click here. You'll see I get 5% for being human, 10% for democratic government, and my leader's giving it plus 5%. But that guy's giving it plus 14%, which is crazy, crazy good. So that's a huge help at this part of the game, particularly with the settings I'm on. All right, so let's let this run. All right, so this is, I thought this was crashed. Did I miss that? Oh, it's not crashed. I thought I read it was crashed. Okay, I could have been mistaken. So I'm going to crash this one. You'll see it's going to cost me next to nothing, 2,600 credits. So boom, because I don't want that to get into a critical failure when I'm that close to getting it. And I'm doing okay here. Again, I'm not funding my research. I'm not funding growth. At least I don't think I am, or maybe very minor if I am. Yeah, see. Oh yeah, I did fund research a little bit. That's why it's not half maybe. Okay, good. But I really want these to be fully funded. But it's not going to happen for a long time. Okay, I've got early torpedo weapons. I'm going to go back to my tech. I don't want basic colonization. I'm going to grab second. The reason I like this, well, second level is just better, but it also allows you to have medium-size weapons. This only allows you to have small-size torpedoes. Okay, so that's big. I am going to take this one. Probably may not need it, but it's almost done. I'm going to take better engines. It's good to have better engines. It's a little controversial because I haven't seen it work, I would say, most of the time. But if your engines are better than the enemy, then you can have your ships keep your distance when you have ranged weapons like mine, like torpedoes, which I like. So, and of course they move quicker also to get to the other side of that planet, like I was talking about when they're defending against pirates. So that's good to have. And they're almost done, so I'm going to put those in fine. I should also be doing these very easy ones here because this will give me a little extra money, and money is super tight. And I must have gotten it. Did I? Yeah, no, I finished this earlier. So this is great. So what's going to happen now is I don't have to manually do this, but I improved my exploration. So my exploration ships, my explorer ships are going to come back and refit and then be better at exploring. They do that when I get better engines. They do that when I get shields as well. And that's going to be a huge help. Okay, I also like to get these pretty early because these gives me a little more range. And this gets me more stuff for passenger size. Yeah, let's check on that, by the way, actually. But I really want to get my first ship built. So I think that's all I need for my ship. There's other cool things like I love damage control. And, of course, I love fighters when I get destroyers. And really, you should have a second level deflector. So I think we'll do that, actually. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to put all this before colonization. So I'm going to, oh, colonization got rushed. That's what it was, I guess. No, okay. I'm going to put them all before colonization. Okay, great. So let's let that run. And now I'm going to actually have a fleet, and I can start taking out pirate. Maybe take out some pirate bases. Also, I can take out this automated base in my home. I got to see how strong it is. Oh, no, it's pretty strong. I don't think I'll be able to do that. We'll see. Because then I can start grabbing these ships, either for their tech or to have them on our side. It'd be great to have these 2 destroyers. And it's kind of cool. You can even see what weapons they have, even though you haven't. I'll let the game run. Even though you haven't rebuilt them yet, so your constructors can come over. They actually will do it automatically once the threat is gone, and they'll just come over and start working on these, or you can manually tell them to do that. At that point, I would probably build more constructors. Speaking of which, let's make sure, because I'm sure we're not doing anything. Yep. Yeah, nothing's being built here. So I'm going to, these are construction resources. They're good sources. They also, building a base in a system will help spread out your influence, of course, a little bit. So yeah, and I'm also gonna build this. I don't know where this is, but it's got 4 resources there. I know it's in an asteroid belt, so I usually avoid those early, but we're good now. I think we're doing fine. And they're doing nothing, my constructor ship, so this is really good. I want to see if my resort base, a new resort base showed up. So the other 2 are built, so I'm going to talk about that in a second. And always be checking here, new resource locations, nothing. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go back to my home colony here. There should be a resort base hanging out. There it is. It's the hotel. Oh, but one of the things I do early is I like to rename. I only have 1 colony, so I'm not concerned about it. But as I get more colonies, I like to rename them. I'm going to stick with my Dune theme here. And you can rename your spaceport too, so that doesn't confuse you. Of course, the system name will not change unless you use the editor, I think. Okay, so I like to, because it reminds me, like I know the Caladan is the home planet in the movies and the book Dune, so it doesn't matter what you name them, obviously, but it's just you want to name them something so when you have 3 or 4 colonies, you know, okay, that's my home, that's my far away colony, that's my colony that has a lot of tech on it, whatever, or a lot of that's the colony I'm using to build my ground troops on. So it's always good to rename them, and the resort base too. You could rename it to something funny, like from The Shining, perhaps. But my point here is I want to see how my income's doing, my bonus income, and let's see if we see it here. Yep, there it is, tourism. See how much money there was? So last year, I made 4,300 credits, roughly, on tourism from these resort bases. Not just this one. There's one other one, and there's going to be a third soon. So this is just good, funny money to have for rushing things, for building a colony ship, for using diplomacy to bribe a colony or even another empire. So all good to have this cash flow, and tourism is a good money source early on. I mean, it's risky, and I did put it off a little bit. I put my military off by building that, but I like the initial income there. And if you read my guide, that's from BT Axis, who taught me this trick, so special shout out to him. And, you know, just a shout out to everybody who's so helpful in this. I mean, I mentioned Das Tactics videos before. I've watched a lot of his videos on a lot of games. He taught me how to play a lot of games, which is great. And these guys are just really great. So I'd really take my hat off to these guys. Please support them, watch their videos, subscribe to their videos, like their videos, because it keeps them making more videos that help all of us players, which is great. Right. So again, strangely quiet. Again, let's review my pirate relations. So I have 4 protection agreements, which is a lot of money being wasted. And I have 2 that don't. I'm guessing I got lucky that these 2 are further away, and so I don't have to worry about it. But I'd love to wipe these guys out and stop paying. Okay, I've got colonization, right? So now I'm going to pause the game and I'm going to show you. Actually, I'll let the game run because I'm okay. But I do want to get, second level torpedoes. Oh, I did. Good. They're almost done. Actually, I'm going to crash this like I've taught you. Yeah, okay. If I say the word taught, I apologize. I am a math teacher, and so sometimes I go into math teacher mode. I apologize if that happens. And I actually did user interface design software for many years before that, before most of you were born, I assume. Okay, so I want to show you that this independent colony that I really, really, really want, and it looks like somebody else is here. Yeah. I really want this, but I can't because you see it's beyond allowable colonization range, which I knew was going to happen because it was so far away. So all that rush to get that wouldn't have helped me because I can't colonize it this far away. I need to colonize something in between it, and that's not going to happen because I don't have anything explored in between it, and also there's other empires in between. So my only hope of exploring is to go out in this direction. Another thing I like to do is turn on the nebula boundaries, because that really it's hard to go through these, or you could get damaged ships, or it will just slow you down. So it kind of like a artificial, like mountains might be in Civilization. So I'm going to try to sneak around here maybe, and also through here, hopefully, and maybe find something I can colonize. Now, as I've told you before, and I've been really lax because I've been talking so much, you got to keep checking these spots here. So let's see. Yeah, so Nothing out of... So what's happening is my explorers, again, are probably getting caught up doing nothing else. So let's see what they're doing. They're probably messing me up here. So, yep, he's looking at rocks. He's refueling at my other base. He's exploring. That's good. He's surveying. That's good. Okay. So I'm going to build some more of these. I probably should have built more of these earlier on, because now it's a race to find out what's around me. So I'm going back to my home. By the way, this is a nice... I use this a lot mid and late game. So the construction tab, if you go here to construction yards, right, all of your bases, I only have two spaceports. All these spaceports will be nice and easily accessible. You don't want to have to zoom into your colony to go do this. So I'm going to build 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 more even. I think I'm doing okay on money. Yeah. Again, this is what the bonus income helps with, right? It doesn't help my research, as I mentioned earlier, but except for crashing, but it helps be able to do stuff like this and not worry about having too much money. And I'm okay on construction resources at this point. I mean, I haven't checked on it, but I can just kind of sense that I'm okay. There's nothing. Yeah. See, this is a little low, but I have 8,000 of it. I'm not worried about it. And all the rest are all good. So my construction resources are fine. It's really, I just want to, and fuel is okay. I only have one source. That's not great, but I'm not really doing anything. I don't have a lot of ships doing anything. And your private sector freighters will buy fuel from other empires or from independents if they need it, if they go far out. So it's all fine. All right, and I'm going to grab these guys. So let's see who just came out. It looks like, well, he already picked them. No, here he is, leave construction yard. So I'm going to tell him, okay, that's not good. I'm going to tell him, see, it's out of his range. He'll still do it. But I'm going to tell him, yeah, we'll risk his life here. I'm going to tell him to go explore this. I really need to get another level of warp. So I'm going to do that pretty quickly. So you can send him out of range. He will run out of fuel, and then it'll take him a long time to get back. But that's why I built a few extra ones. This guy should then again get put to automatic. By the way, there's different levels of auto that you can go through. So, but there is not a setting. I know there will be in a future version that says don't, or fully automate mining stations except on asteroids, because it just gets out of control. Or actually, no, if I don't select, I'm sorry, I meant on the, on the Explorer ships. Yeah, the Explorer ships. That's exactly where I think it will be in the future. That'll be a great feature. Okay, so he's got no mission, maybe because there's nothing in range. So I may be a little premature in building that many because everything, and you can see the other, we get off the exploration tab. See, the tabs filter these views. So you see, this is showing you what you've explored, what you haven't too. So I go back to like military tab, it'll clear up here. But you can see that this guy has expanded so much in this short time compared to me. And I'm pinned in with this guy too. So this is a really, really difficult start here. And by the way, that's just luck. I don't think that has anything to do with any settings that I picked. Other than it took me a long time to get out of my system because I was of my settings. But I mean, their location to you is a little bit random. And the location of the independent, I think, is random too. So really my only hope is to go out here. So I've really got to increase my warp drives. I'm almost done with all my military tech that I want. So I'm going to go right to hyperdrive here. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I do want to do this so that I do want that very soon too. So my explorer ships can, and I'll take some of these real easy low-hanging fruit here. I don't need diplomacy really. I'm not so worried about it. I got research labs too. So another reason I didn't even research this, I don't think I did. I got it from somebody else. It must have been stolen. So that made my research also go up a little bit. So that's great. And of course, this super, super good scientist. I hope he's still around. Yeah, he's 14% still. All right, so I'm holding my own because of that, but it's not pretty. But it's okay. I got further than I thought I might. So you'll notice that this research station didn't upgrade yet. That may just be for, yeah, see, I think it is. I think it upgraded its research bay, so I'm not worried about that. But you can always force it. You can always just tell it to go ahead and do that. And it'll stop making research for a short time in case that was the research level that I just researched. But I think it already did that. Right? And then, of course, the space station, too. You could force an upgrade, but see, it's already done. Oh, no. Okay, I'm missing Necrostone. So as soon as I see this, now I'm going to pause the game and start to worry. It may be that I have a source, but they haven't. Nope, I have 0 sources. See, so I was not watching this carefully. So now I'm down to literally 78, right? So let's talk about what to do here, other than panic. First of all, if you're in a trade agreement with anybody, including other empires here or not, you could buy it from them. It'll happen automatically. You can't do it, but it'll happen automatically. Your freighters will realize you're low and try to fulfill this. What we can do is we can look for sources, of which it says there are none. So I can go to new mining locations though and filter this because that's the only one I care about right now. Actually, it's not true. So I do see these bonus resources. Nope. Yeah, these are bonus. Oh, there it is. Okay, I found a source. Beautiful. Right, that's the one we're looking at. Yeah, good. So I got lucky. Now, I was going to just say, if you're looking for, if the case is at the bottom of the list, which it won't be, the AI will put it to the top, but you can always filter by it, right? So I could go down here to N, Necro Stone, and then it will show only those possibilities. So I can rush a colony ship here. Now, I think I have a constructor ship, excuse me. I think I have enough constructor ships. So if I click this, it'll probably, once I unpause the game, fill it. Let's unpause the game. Yep, there was somebody waiting to go. So that's great. So he's going to get this. But in the meantime, I've got some issues here. And I should have been watching that a little more carefully, particularly on this difficult start. Okay, so there it is. Hopefully we'll get those gems there. You can see I have a nasty production shortage here. And don't forget those mining ships, once you discover it, might also head out there. You can look at those. If I go here and I go to all civilian ships and I look at mining ships, okay, I have a lot of them actually. Yeah, see, is anybody heading there? Yeah, he is. So, in fact, he has some on board. This is beautiful. Okay, so he already took the initiative, this mining ship on his own, of course, because you don't control the private sector, to get these on his own. So that's great. So I'm about to get 500 delivered, and so I'll be able to do whatever I want to do. And it looks like another one is 2. Is he on his way back or on his way there? Yeah, there's 2 of them. Just about to unload these at my base. So that's really, really, really cool part of the game. So if you hear me be critical about the game, I'm also going to tell you some amazing things. I love that whole aspect of things are happening in the background, a real living universe, real living empire that you're not even controlling, although you can certainly monitor. And I just think that's an incredible uniqueness to this game that really I haven't seen anywhere else. So if I don't praise this game enough, please know that I mean it. Mean to. Okay, good. I mean, as good as can be, but I'm not hurting. I've got all my military. All right, so it's 18.5 years. So let's see what, rushing it may be too expensive right now, right? So let's take a look, though. If I try to rush it now, 114 grand. Yeah, that's a little too much more than I'm willing to pay. Now, it's possible, of course, that it might get a critical failure now wouldn't be that bad, right? Because it's low percentage. It's only 5% finished. But a critical success on its own, without me paying for it, without me crashing it, would be great, right? If I got lucky, and I did get lucky early game with one of those, at least. All right, now it's going to be really hard without more warp to get to any of these other places. I'm going to check on colonies to see if I have any more colonies. Nope, see, there's nothing in here. I think it's set to not show me really, really bad ones, but there may not be any at all. I can invest in colony tech to make it better when they show up, but it's probably going to be a long time. I do want to check my research bases. There are no research bases. That's not good. Usually by now I've found one, maybe. All right, I'm going to check on my explorer ships. Are they doing everything they're supposed to be doing? Yeah, most of them are. That guy's on a rock. See that weird name? But most of these are not, so that's good. So they're exploring as much as they can. Good, that guy's heading out there. You'll see he's going to, oh, he's already out of fuel. Wow. So he's going to take a long time to get there, but it will work. And he's not upgraded too, so I'm so tempted to upgrade him. Yeah, yeah, I'll let him go. I've got enough. I'm fine. All right, he's leaving construction yard. And I really need, so another tech that would be really useful right now, in fact, I'm going to take it, is these storage systems. So that gives you a fuel cell rather than the basic fuel cell, see, and that's going to give me more range. So I'm going to take that right away because I really need range here. That's really important. In fact, I'm going to move it up even before this exploration, although that's important. Yeah, crew systems are good too. It allows you to fit more things. Talk about that when I build my first ship. And yeah, all right, that's good enough for now. There are other things I could be missing here. I mean, I have very little scanners, of course, if I get invaded. Fast mining is great. It helps me build Tells me mine. It increases my mining range and mine faster. That's my understanding. So all that's good, and yeah. And I also like damage control for my fleet, but right now I can't be. I got to just focus on what I need. I have no fleet here, and I really want to stop these pirates. I also want to destroy that automated base in my home. All right, so I'm going to I don't think anything's going to happen for a while, so I'm going to pause the game and let the game run until warp is done. I'm probably going to crash it. You'll probably see that either it crashes on its own or I'm going to crash it certainly before it gets to 50%-ish. So I'll see you back in a few minutes. Okay, so I was letting warp drive, hyperdrive technology, progress. I did rush it about halfway through, and then I got lucky with an event, finding a battleship, and I tried to stabilize it, and I got a huge boost, and it went right up to 99%. So I'm really excited about that. But a good 5 years has gone past. Nothing much else has happened. I found a few more luxury resources. My situation remains the same. I've expanded a tiny, tiny bit, but not much at all. And I did find more pirates over here. So everything's about the same, but now I have hyperdrive technology. I'm ready to build a fleet. I got all my defenses that I want. I would like the storage systems, actually, to be honest with you, but it's all right. I can always retrofit, right? So we're going to stop here now, and I'm going to design a ship. So I'm going to go to my design screen. Because I leave designs on auto, sometimes I don't know why, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, but sometimes there will be a frigate ship here already built or an escort ship already built. So you can just click on it if you want to upgrade this one and hit upgrade. I want a frigate. I'm not going to worry about my escorts. So I'm going to actually add new. And you can always add new if there's an existing one here, but you're going to need to obsolete it after you do by clicking over here in this column, okay? Because you don't want two active. So I'm going to hit add new. I'm going to pick my latest combat ship with frigate, and I'm going to auto-generate new design using this ship hull. You wouldn't want to manually design it from scratch. It's doable, but it's just way too much. The auto-generate does a great job for most things, and I'm just going to comment on a few things. Mid-game, they may put long-range sensors, which is a big 50 points of hull size, on every advanced ship, and I like to keep it only on one ship. So there are things you do want to change later besides weapons, but early on, mostly what I'm going to change is weapons and maybe shielding. Let's take a look. So I'm going to hit auto generate, and there it is. So down here, of course, is what's on my ship by default. It's preloaded by the auto generate. Up here in the corner is my size, so you can see it's already full. It's 445 out of 450. Okay. Everything else is not that important. I mean, it can certainly tell you its movement stats, its attack strength, which is great. So you can see it changes. We change weapons, but you know, it's all minor stuff. Really, all you care about is you want to know what the size is here, and you want to look at your components. So I've got 2 shields and 1 standard armor. That's fine. I usually go with 2 shields, 1 standard armor on the frigate. I've got the most basic of scanners. That's fine. And then I've got a PD, which I do like, particularly when I'm fighting pirate bases, because PDs will shoot down fighters. So I've got a PD there, and if you look, oh yeah, the frigate doesn't have a 270 degree, but if you're looking at the middle of the screen, usually the slot around here has a 270 degree. I like to put the PD there, like on destroyers they have that, and higher. But it doesn't, so the location really doesn't matter too much. It's got 2 railguns medium. That's not what I want, because I invested in torpedoes medium, so I'm going to go with torpedoes. Nothing wrong with railguns. I just prefer torpedoes, so you can leave railguns in here. I don't like the seeking missile, although I do need a small component here. I definitely don't like seeking missiles, so I'm going to go here and I'm just going to grab all torpedoes. It just happens to be my favorite. I don't really get too involved in the minutia of what works versus which, but of course you can read here on the pop-up. You know, some things are better against shields, some things get against armor. Torpedoes are great against armor, so it has a 40% pass-through. There's a whole math. As a math teacher, I can certainly attest to this. There's a whole math behind what works against shields, what works against armor, et cetera, et cetera. And it does help, and it does make a difference. And if you're attacking a particularly large target that has a certain strength and you want to go against its weakness rather than its strength, that's fine. But 99% of the time, you know, good quality design and a lot of them, you know, more than the enemy is going to beat the enemy. So it's one of those things I can't worry too much about it. Just don't enjoy it. It's fine if you do. It's great that it's here. It's another one of those things I give a ton of credit to the game that, some people call these spreadsheet games, right? Where you can get as deep as you want. And that's great. And if you enjoy that, it's great. So it's there for you. I just don't. So I'm going to put the reason I don't put a medium here is, of course, I'm at my 450 limit of the upper right-hand corner here. But also the bay is only size 19, right? So the medium, if you look up here, the medium bay is 30. A medium epsilon torpedo needs a 30 bay, whereas the small one only needs a 15 bay. So I couldn't have put mediums in these two bays here. So I could either put another small here. Actually, I don't know that I would have had the room to do that. I could put two smalls, two mediums, or what I have here, two mediums, a PD, which is great against fighters, and which I care about because pirate bases typically have a lot of fighters, and a small torpedo. And that's really good for an early game like this. I'm going to name my frigate. I use FR so I know what it is, although you can see it clearly anyway. And then I make up a name that I want to. That's from a game called Star Command in 1970 something. I hate to admit how old I am. There it is. And save it. I'm good. Okay, now it'll default to manual 99% of the time. I swear sometimes it goes to automatic. I don't know why, but I want it on manual here. Automatic's good because it'll automatically retrofit stuff that's just a version change, but I want the design on manual. I don't want the AI the next time I research or I capture, I might not even research it myself, but I capture a research from somebody and it's a railgun, a new version of railgun, and the computer's like, the AI's like, oh, well, I'll just upgrade your Lancer to be a new design and I'll switch back to railguns when I want torpedoes. So I don't want it, I want it to be manual. So you have to make sure that when you get some new tech that you manually upgrade it, or else your ships will fall behind in tech. So the escorts I don't really use myself in combat. I'll build some to hang around my systems and to escort freighters to to dissuade pirate ships, or they do a little bit of help. So I leave it automatic, and the AI does an okay job on it. If I really want to go crazy, I can make the best escort possible, but I let the computer do it. But for my frigates, which currently are my main ship until I get destroyers, I want to leave it on manual. Okay, and then I just close this out. Again, when I make a new frigate and you hit upgrade, when I upgrade it, it will auto. It'll auto turn this one off to obsolete, right? So that the new one will take over. But if it's a new type of frigate, like a new level of frigate, so advanced frigates, or like when I go to destroyers and I get heavy destroyers or fleet destroyers, you're going to have to manually turn off your old one by hitting obsolete here, okay? But right now I only have one, and I'm not doing an upgrade, which would automatically do this for me anyway. So I'm leaving on manual and active. That's really important. So then if it's on active, it'll show up in my build menus. So now, mid to late game, I have started using fleet templates. I don't like them early game just because I just find it easier to micromanage. And again, against what I said earlier, I don't like micromanaging sometimes, but for fleets I do. It's just my style. Fleet templates are great. They work fine, just like automatic fleets work great, which I do use occasionally. But right now I'm going to micromanage my fleet. So to do that, and the system isn't, the UI isn't, the UX isn't really designed that well, in my opinion, to do it. But it's doable. So I'm going to show you what I do to kind of work around it. So I'm going to hit construction yards here. I'm going to go to my the Ghost Fleet base can build ships, but it probably doesn't have too many resources. Yeah, see, I can't even build a colony ship there, but I could build a couple of these. In fact, I'll just build an escort there so I have one ship hanging out there. But back on my main spaceport at my home, where most of my resources are going to be easily accessible, and I've got more of them, I'm going to build my fleet. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to click my frigate. I'm going to bet a fleet of maybe 15 of them. It's a little early for 15. I may start running out of money, but I do want to try to take out a pirate base with them. We'll see how it goes. It's a little early. Destroyers are my go-to for destroying pirate bases. So I'm going to build 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's 15 ships here, okay? You could click on one ship, create a new fleet, and then slowly add them to it. It's a real pain in the neck, but it's easier to go like this. You go to the military tab, go to your ships tab, and if you scroll all the way down, the bottom is all the ships under construction because it's sorted by strength highest to weakness, and they have no strength right now whatsoever. Unfortunately, one of these is an escort, and it's right there. It's in the middle. See that's an escort, whereas that's a frigate. So I don't want that one. So I'm going to use the control key. So I'm going to click here on Liberty, hit control, and then click here, click here, click here, click here. I could do shift and get the bulk of them and then add the last ship. So I'm just hitting control, holding down control and hitting shift. So I've got all of my 12, I think I said, or 15 frigates selected. You can kind of hover over them to see that. And then you just hit create new fleet here. Okay. This is second fleet. First fleet is my the 4 ships that we got for free, not free, for 25 grand early in the game. I do eventually rename these. So I like to leave a 10 ship fleet around each colony for defense, particularly when I'm bordered by a lot of empires and they don't like me. So I'll name them by their colony and I'll name them defense fleets. And then I'll keep first, second, third, fourth fleet for my attack fleets. But right now, it's not a big deal. So I just got to remember that second fleet is there. Now, the other thing I want to do is I want to see if I have an admiral. I do. So I have an admiral. He's not that great, but he's got at least nothing negative, and he's got a hyper jump speed of 3%. So I'm going to tell that admiral, you don't need to hang out with these 4 ships. By the way, I'm going to go tell these to repair because they're not repaired. I see this guy's hurt, so I'm going to hit repair. I'm going to click on the admiral. I'm going to tell him, you know what, buddy? I want you to go to my other fleet. So please go to second fleet and transfer. And because they're right next to each other right now, we're fine. By the way, drunk happens almost to every general, every admiral, it seems. I hope they fix that in the future, but we'll see. It may be better now, but of course my first admiral is a drunk. But luckily he's still got a hyperspace bonus. This will go up over time, and maybe he'll pick up some more traits that'll help us along the way. He hasn't been in any battles, so fighting in battles tends to help them increase their skills and find new traits, hopefully positive ones. So transfer to new location. He's going to transfer to second fleet. It tells you when it's going to happen, which is probably like a month from, not 2 weeks from now. If you look at my date up in the upper right-hand corner, yeah, it's about two weeks. That's nothing in game time. All right, so I'm going to let the game run again. So I built up my fleet. If I go to my home, double click on this list here. If I go here or click down here on the spaceport when you're zoomed out, I'll see these guys start coming out. It may even produce an admiral because you're doing something. By the way, they don't have to worry about that drive. They have that drive, unless I did it a second too early, but no, I think they do. They have that drive in them. You can always check, so I can double click on a ship here. It's under construction. I can see there's its design there. It's design style, so I can click there and say, does it have the new drive? Yeah, there it is, the Garrex hyperdrive. Okay, so you can always check like that. Okay, we repaired a frigate somewhere, so we got some improved escorts. Let the AI handle that. Okay, my first ship was constructed. It's trying to tell me that. So if I go to my fleet view now, you'll see I've actually got 1 ship. There it is. All right, this is going to run for a little bit. So I think I'm going to change my strategy. If I don't find any independent colonies, I'm going to have to go for an early invasion on this guy. He's small. He only has 1 home, which means I have to build up troops and start building troop technology. And it's going to be dicey given my disadvantage, but I need the income. So his home system, hopefully, will have a ton of income. In fact, I'm curious. So if I click here and I look at quality, I can't see. But if I send a ship there, maybe I would know, but I can't really tell. But the fact that he's living off this income, I mean, it's going to be a good system. But conquering it means I'm going to have a big disadvantage monetarily for a long time. I'm going to have to absorb that because it's going to be unassimilated and it's going to take time to assimilate them to my culture. So I will lose money for a long time, but another home colony is a good eventual source of income, which I desperately need, particularly with no indies nearby. No one's taken this other human one yet. It's still white. It's not brown from this empire there. So right now I haven't been checking things in a while, so I'm going to go back and check my luxury resources. I don't see one, but I've got nothing else to do. These are good resource stats. I'm going to click those 3. Most of my guys are not busy. New resort base, nothing here. And I have not seen a single new tech. There's one. Great. Okay. Sorry. All right. Wow. That's really, really important. I might even manually send a guy there to get some extra because we are definitely behind here. And my money is not good enough to fully fund our research. So let me see what my constructors are doing right now. I only have 3. So I think what I'll do, this one's retrofitting. Okay. So he might take over. I may go back here and I'm going to undo 2 of these because I really, really want them. I could manually do it, but I really want them to go to this first. And so they're in a retrofit. One of them is in a retrofit. 2 of them in a retrofit. So that's okay. Although they're One of them's close, so he'll probably do it. This guy's pretty far. Oh, no, they're both there. Okay, this guy's not. Good. All right, so as soon as these guys retrofit, which will happen soon. The only problem is my spaceport is quite busy right now, so if they're trying to retrofit there, let me go to my spaceport here. Yep, there they are. See, they're awaiting construction here. So I can manually, I can click on him and drag him to the front, but I have my preferences in automation set to give these guys a lower priority than military ships. But right now, at least the first one, I really, really want to get done. So there he goes. So good. Excellent. And it's such a quick refit compared to building a ship from scratch. All right. So good. I moved him up the queue. So now he's off. I hope he's off. Let's take a look. He's leaving the construction yard, but hopefully he'll build that research station, which I really, really definitely need. All right, great. So I got shock forces by stealing it probably. So I'm going to go to my home, so I'm going to invade soon. I'm going to go to my home system here, and I'm going to build a facility, and I'm going to build an armor barracks because I really need a good mix of these troops. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to start building troops. This is going to bankrupt me, not bankrupt me, but it's going to cost me pretty soon. That and a big fleet are going to be trouble, so it's going to be a tight thing going. As soon as this facility is built, you can watch its percentage go up by clicking here. I will start building tanks. And then I've got to research troop transports. I've got a lot of stuff to do. Let's see how our fleet's coming along. Our theoretical pirate. So we're up to 1,600 strength, you can see. If you remember that pirate base, the automated pirate base was like 1,500. And you need more than 1-to-1. I mean, 2-to-1 would be really nice because all your ships don't arrive and fire at the same time. I do try to kind of force it to by little tricks, but it's not going to be an easy fight. I'll probably lose some ships for sure. And my general hasn't arrived either. My admiral hasn't arrived either. So we'll see what happens there. All right, and how my explorer ships doing? Pretty good. Couple retrofitting, couple refueling. I don't know if that guy ever made it there. I guess he did. Okay, more frigates coming out. We're almost ready to test these guys out. As soon as my admiral gets there, which I thought was only 2 weeks away, and this has been more than 2 weeks, so now I'm a little concerned. Oh, I left them on auto. I should have put him to manual. Yep, see, he's still commanding first fleet, so can I go over there and bug him again? So yeah, I kept them on auto. I meant to switch this to manual for admirals and usually ambassadors too because they don't seem to do anything. I'm not sure why. So I'm going to transfer him to second fleet, of course, which is my big fleet. Okay. And then ambassadors for some reason also don't seem to, for me, I don't ever have any luck with them. So I'm going to send them both to people around me because it makes it less likely they're going to attack me. So these green guys and the purple guys. So I'm going to send the first one to the hive next to me, boom, and then this guy I'm going to send over to this. Where is it? Yeah, there. See, it's hot. It's hot. When I highlighted it, it's got a ring around it. Good. So that guy transfer. Okay, so they're on manual. They're transferring my nearest neighbors. That's good. Everybody else I leave on auto, and we're good. Okay, we got starfighters. I didn't build that, so somebody else built that. I mean, I stole that or something probably. Okay, good. So let's see. We're ready to our first combat, I think. Almost. Yeah, the admiral's already there. We're good. Even though he's only adding hyperspace, but I do want him to get the experience. And I'm up to 2,500, 26, 2,700 in strength. All right. Maybe a big mistake. Now you can see my money's going down again. I mean, I'm getting the bonus income to cover it, but I'm losing money. By the way, look at the tourism. It was actually higher than this early on. So it's already at 5,500 for this year. 6,000. It was 4,500 last year. That's a lot of good money, right? I mean, I'm only bringing in 9,000, 10,000 from colony taxes, and in tourism alone, I'm bringing in $6,000. So this is great. And of course, the shipbuilding is random, as is the fuel, based on what they need. And there's the junkyard that I already knew was there that they're just telling me about now. Yeah, that's what we're going for, actually. Okay. So what's costing a lot of money? Take a look, right? My ship and base maintenance, 7,000. Remember, you're not paying for mining bases. You're paying for your other bases, your resort bases, and your although the resort base is a little unclear based on the Galactopedia, so I'm not 100% sure. Okay, good. So yeah, that's in my home, but they're going to get attacked there. They found that abandoned ship that we were thinking of repairing, but not until I destroy that starbase. All right, but and my troops not yet are big, but they will be big shortly as I start building up for them. And I'm playing tribute, of course, which I'd love to get rid of. So anyway, let's go back to our fleet. It should be done. It's done. Oh, and they went off on their own. Okay, so big mistake number 2. I forgot to set these guys to same location. Okay, so they went off on their own. So they've already gone off without me. And they're not all together, and so they're getting their butts kicked, basically. All right, let's see. Oh, there's a lot there. Okay, they might do okay. Let's see what happens, right? So I'm going to slow the game down to speed 1. All right, they've already taken out the shield. Good. And the strength was more than 2 to 1 before, I think. So, okay, you can see I had a lot of damaged ships here, or at least starting to take damage, yeah. So like this guy, right? He lost his shields and his armor, so he's gonna try to run based on my settings, but he's probably not even gonna make it. That guy's gonna take him out, but that's okay. And there's tons of debris here, so we'll get a lot of tech from that, and this should give me some money or something too. So let's watch the battle. I also like to watch the battle from the bridge of the ship, which is always fun. So maybe I'll do that. Okay. I can still click and select the fortress here and watch it die, hopefully, with any luck. There's my torpedoes hitting it. Okay, we're down to the armor, which my torpedoes are great at. If you remember, my torpedoes are much better at killing armor, so those should go fast. Or bypassing the armor, excuse me, bypassing the armor. Also hitting the hull, I should say, right? Okay. Now, he's also seized damaged weapons, so he can't even fire back at this point. He's down to 7 damaged weapons here, so now, at this point it's easy. So you can click on the shield here, or the picture here, and then watch them lose all of their capabilities. And of course he's going to go down now. Okay guys, anytime. There you go. All right, so they've been eliminated. I didn't get any money. I'm not sure. I'm going to go back to overhead default view. All right, that was pretty cool. Another cool feature. And my fleets are here now. They're going to go back. They've got no mission now because they're on manual, even though they went on their own. So I'm going to send them back by clicking this button. It doesn't always go to the spaceport or location you want it to, so always check it before you click it. You can always use your right click. Oh, there they go. They may be heading off to another threat. I'm not sure what they're doing. Doesn't say. So I'm going to hit repair. They may have been doing that anyway. So this guy's hurt, right? So he's disabled. He was that guy I think I was talking about earlier. So you can manually tell one of your constructors to go fix him. Okay, so Cruel Champion. Yeah, he's already coming. So he's already coming to fix them because they weren't doing anything. But you a lot of times you don't have any free constructors. So, and this guy's going to build one of the other ships that's hanging out, one of these derelict ships here. Okay, and he's going to probably pick the highest, the destroyer first. I'm hoping. Let's see, Terrible Arrow. Let's see it. So did I miss it? Maybe there's another ship in here. Or that may be another ship that I have that's damaged too that I'm not aware of. So let's see. Click on the target. See? Click on the mission target. Yeah, it's another ship I have that must have been damaged somewhere else. Yep. Okay. So that's what he's going to. They're going to fix my own, but they will go fix those other ships. And now that I have some okay money, I'm going to build a couple more constructors so they go off and do that exactly. All right. Now back on my normal checks. I got to check for new mining locations. Nothing new in a while. Check for new research. Okay, there's nothing here. That's great. That means I got the third base. There it is. So my research is up to 80. Wow. And my potential is 132, which I'm not going to reach till I'm financially secure. So, but anyway, my baseline research went up. That's great. I'm really happy about that. That should speed stuff up a little bit. This is planetary exploration, but I think, oh, we got a couple of more basic ones after that. But then I've got to start doing more ground troops. Speaking of which, I'm going to go back to my home. You'll see that some of the infantry got built, but none of my tanks. So I'm going to build some armored brigades. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to start costing me money, but I need them to take over the planet. A couple more of these, so I just built like 6 or 7. I'm going to need transport technology very shortly, and I got to hope he doesn't expand too quickly or expand at all. Because if he has 2 colonies, then taking that's going to be a pain in the neck. By the way, my orientation got messed up by using that bridge camera, I believe. So you may have to readjust, holding the mouse wheel and turning the mouse to do it. All right. Yeah, just checking all my stuff. I want to check resource. bases, no more resort bases to build. Okay, new colonies, there's nothing around, so I'm not going to be able to build up my own colony, which would be really slow anyway. So really, at this point, conquering is my only option. All right, so I can start looking at this. I'm going to let those two go because those are going to give me some money. This is so cheap and almost done. I'll click that, but not critically important at this point. I mean, it's good for your ships, actually, so I will build that into my ships. Long-range sensors is really good when I go to war, even though I hope this to be a quick surprise war, so I'm not going to bother. But I do need troop compartment here. I do need better troop compartments. I need shipboarding. Where's shipboarding up here? Oh, I like this improved logistics pretty early on too because it makes it cheaper to have a lot of troops. And we also want these two because they lead to my third type of troop. But I'm really still going to, yeah, because that'll happen before my transport. So, all right, I'm going to pick this, believe it or not. And I'm going to pick these two. And yeah, that's good. I may want to go for another level of torpedoes before I go fight somebody too. So probably do that. I may reorder these a little later. And I have two. Do I have level 2 shields? I think I do, yeah. Up here, I may go to third, but let's see. And then basic troop transports are now buildable. Okay, I must have already had the other one I was looking for. I had shipboarding. There it is, because you need that for troop transport. So now I'm going to build troop transports. They're not going to hold a lot of troops, but I usually like to really get this next level here. But we'll see what happens. I also want crew systems because that helps me build better ships, fit more things. And then this one's really great for reducing corruption and also happiness. Yeah, so I need the money badly, and it's almost done, so I may take that. But it is third tier, so that's going to be, I may reorder that later. Okay, that's good. I'm going to let all that go. Sometimes I do this. I just move something up because I may like upgrade my fleet quickly. If it only takes one, it's just about done. So I'm going to move right to the top. It'll be done in 11 days, so that can go. And I can always retrofit my ships to have this. I'm not that concerned right this second. So I'm really excited my fleet survived. By the way, here's a nice way to get to your fleet right here, second fleet. So I click on second fleet. They're almost repaired. These two are the seriously damaged ones. Yeah, I must have lost two because I'm down to 13. So I'm going to replace them. Again, if you had a fleet template, it would replace it automatically, or you could manually tell it to replace. I'm not using fleet templates, so I'm going to have to go to my construction yard here, tell it to build. See, I don't want to cut in front of this one, but it won't. It'll cut in front of the second one. And I'm going to build maybe 3 more. Okay, now a nice thing you can do rather than going to the military tab is I can double click here, and then I can tell it to join second fleet. Hit back button. Double click this one, tell it to join second fleet. Third one, tell it to join second fleet. And now they're already in second fleet. I don't have to worry about manually doing it. You can see there they are, the first 3 in position here. So they're good to go. Yeah, these guys don't like us in general. These guys tend to like us a little more, I think. Yeah, so they'll probably invade us. If we wait too long, they'll end up invading us. But with only 1 colony, as far as I can tell, that's good. By the way, it's still independent. If I take this, I might have a shot at getting this. I don't know that range. That might still be out of range, but it's going to be a while before I take this. I've really got to build up. And the other thing I really want to build up is destroyers. I don't think I can take it with just frigates, so I'm going to have to go to destroyers. So let me go back and do that. And I need bombardment weapons. So I'm going to grab destroyers, which are here. That's third tier. It's going to take a while. And I'm also going to grab bombardment weapons, which are super important. You can bombard without them, but it's definitely quicker. So, and I may even go to the second level of that, which is the third tier when it comes out, but it won't show up yet until that's done. Yeah, I may move the planetary governance up, and because it's almost done also, and I may rush that one. Yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, so let's let that go. All right, so I don't think anything's going to happen for a long time. So what I'm going to do is let all these techs advance. And before I start designing I'm not going to design a troop transport. I'm going to use the default one. But before I start my invasion, I'll restart the game so you can watch the invasion, assuming I get there. If anything else major happens, I'll let the game go. But I'm going to let basically almost all these. I'm going to rush planetary governance. I'm going to build that facility. That's just going to give me more happiness and reduce corruption. So hopefully it'll give me a little money. It does cost money to maintain, $500 a year, but I think it'll make up for that on my home. So you'll see that'll be built. And then I'll wait when all this comes out to build my destroyers, design my destroyers, build my troop transports, launch the invasion, take the colony. I think we'll probably stop there. All right, I'll see you after that. Okay, so since you've been back, a couple things have happened. I found another human colony, which almost made me want to attack the Acadarians first, because then they might scoop this soon. But it is in a nebula. It's in the Orange Nebula Galactic Storm, so it's going to be difficult to get to, particularly early on my low tech. So I'm going to leave that alone. I got very lucky. I'm about to get enhanced torpedoes, and I got very lucky. I stole destroyer technology from the guys I'm going to attack here, which is the Hive, Great Hive. So, of course, that means they have it too. So anyway, what I'm going to do is build a couple of quick destroyers. I'm going to design a destroyer. Going to upgrade our frigates. And I'm going to build a couple of destroyers and then take this out right away, this pirate, because I'm spending money on him every year for protection money. Now, what will happen, by the way, is eventually they'll like us enough after paying protection for a long time that they'll have a non-aggression treaty with us, and you won't have to pay anymore. So you don't have to take them out if you want to wait a little bit longer, but I'm not waiting, and I just don't like them around there anyway. Plus, you get a little money for them, and sometimes you get ships from them. So I'm going to let this run until it gets to 100, and then it's going to start working on my techs that I need for more ground troops and for transports, okay? As soon as this is done. Okay. All right, so I'm going to let transports run. Now I'm going to pause the game, and I'm going to design my destroyers, okay? So I'm going to go to ship designs. There isn't one already, so that's fine. So I'm going to do add new. I'm going to select destroyer. I'm going to auto-generate. It's going to do generally a great job here. It's got a small starfighter bay. That's new for us, so we're going to have fighters. That's pretty cool. It put the countermeasures in. That's fine. I don't mind that. And it's got 3 shields, 2 armors. That's great, too. So I'm going to get rid of the railguns. I'm going to leave the PD. Now, see this PD slot, if you look in the middle of the screen, has 270 degrees. That's great. I've got 15 left, so I think I can just fit. I'm going to leave the torpedoes because I know I like torpedoes, and I've got anything that'll be 50. So yeah, so the small torpedo, the Epsilon torpedo, small version 2 here, that's 15. That's perfect because in the upper right-hand corner here, I've got 585, I have 600. So I'm going to put that in there, and bam, I hit 600 exactly. So that's great. 4 medium torpedoes, 1 small torpedo, and some PD. We've got countermeasures, and we've got a fighter base. The small fighter bay is very early. It's not going to do a lot. The fighters there are very weak, but it's a distraction, at least for the other enemy fighters. I'm going to call this DD for destroyer, and I'm going to call it Fletcher. I'm a World War II buff, so that's for Admiral Fletcher, and I'm going to hit save and exit. Okay, and then I'm going to go to my frigates, my Lancers, and I'm going to upgrade them. I think, so when the weapons just change versions, it upgrades the design automatically for you. So I may not even need to do this, but it's one of those, I want to make sure I have it. By the way, check your destroyers are manual. They are good. So I'm going to upgrade this Lancer, the frigate. Hit upgrade. It's still got everything I had before. It's 450 exactly. Yeah, I don't think I needed to do this, but it doesn't hurt. And I'm going to hit save and exit. And notice it makes it version 2, right? It automatically adds version 2 for you. It's still manual, it's still active, so we're good. But I doubt my ships need a retrofit on it, but I'm going to do it anyway. So first thing I'm going to do is go to my spaceport, which I always access here. There's Caledon Spaceport. I'm going to build, let's say, 3 destroyers. I want to give it a little extra punch. Oh, and the other thing that developed while you were gone is I managed to repair 2 of those destroyers from those derelict ships that I found in my home system. And I've added them to Fleet 2. So I'll take a look at those. I want to add these 3 to Fleet 2. So again, I'm going to double click, add to Fleet 2. I'm going to double click, add to Fleet 2, and double click, add to Fleet 2. Okay, now if I go look at Fleet 2, in addition to those new ships there, I've got these 2 pretty cool looking ships here. I'll zoom in on this one, double click, There it is. So that's pretty cool. The only problem with the derelict ships is they have very short ranges, which I mentioned in my guide. So you see it only has a fuel of 150 compared to, like, back out to like my regular frigates, which have 200. So the range is not great, so I don't keep them in for long assaults like to an enemy colony. But for what we're doing, it's fine. I'm going to let the game run. I am running out of cash because I'm building more troops. So my bonus cash is basically keeping me barely afloat, but I am going to run out of money. But by eliminating these pirates and stopping their the money that's coming into them, I think we'll have a little advantage. Now, for retrofitting, so I've got the 3 new destroyers coming up, but these still potentially have old technology. You can right-click on the star spaceport, and sometimes here too. Yeah, it won't let me do it here, but it'll let me do it on the spaceport. So if I right-click on the spaceport, retrofit, it will, as soon as it's done building these 2, it'll start retrofitting these. And you can watch the progress by clicking on the spaceport. So you see now all of this is queued up. See all my frigates, and it'll only take a split second to upgrade them if they even need it. But it's going to finish these 2 destroyers first, and then it's going to do these. Well, it'll probably, I think it will pass these construction ships. Hopefully, we'll see. All right. So I'm going to give that a little time. I'm going to zoom out and do just some final checks. What I'm going to do first, my strategy is take out this pirate base here. Then I may try for these. They are at the far range of my range, so I'm going to consider doing that. But let me just check, of course, for any more resources because I haven't found any more luxuries. Oh, I just did. Okay. Well, there's a luxury and there's hexadorium, so that's really good for advanced weapons, I think, I believe, and extra fuel. That's my 3rd fuel source. I'm really happy about that. There's some more luxuries here. I'm going to grab those. There's another fuel source here, so I'm going to get my constructors working. Okay, good. And then there's no more research bases, I don't think. Nope. And there's no new resort locations. Okay, I just got this quickly. I don't know how. Maybe I finished it or maybe I stole it. I don't know. So now I'm going to improve logistics. Okay, I got to keep an eye on that. And let's keep an eye on Second Fleet, see how the retrofit is going. See, now they're into the frigates. And watch how quick they retrofit, right? Very quickly. Good. Look at my strength is up to 6,000. It's going to be so easy to take out these pirates. Now, the pirates are stronger because, well, I picked strong pirates in the original setup, and also because I've been paying them all this protection money, they use that to increase their strength, which means more ships. So we're going to actually, I'm going to show you a little, I don't know if it's good or not, it's my trick. I'm going to right-click far from their base, but close enough so that they see me. And, of course, I'm going to break my agreement with them. So they'll get mad at me, and then they'll send their ships out from their base to attack me, and then I can take the ships on first and then attack the pirate base. So you'll see that in a few seconds. I got to make sure I refuel this guy. Sometimes the fleet refuel doesn't work, and I have to manually refuel him, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to click on him, order him to manually refuel. Oh, he has no shields either. Oh, that's a new destroyer. That's why. Oh, maybe I missed that. Okay, he's fine. There's the shields. Okay, I guess he was just being built. All right, so, right, it retrofitted first. I guess it's finishing the last destroyer here. Or it's trying to retrofit those even though they don't need it. All right, almost done. He's done. He's fueled. This guy's getting retrofitted. There's a couple more. Good, it's done. See, it says no mission. That doesn't always mean they're done, but I think they're done. Okay, so I've got my second fleet very strong, and this should be easy, but again, I've never played on strong pirates, so let's see what happens. I'm zooming into the pirate base, which is usually gray here, so there it is. You can see it's got a bunch of ships around it, though I don't know much about them. So I'm going to click right here. Now, right now we're friends, so they're not going to bother me, but I'm going to click here. It'll give my ships a chance to arrive, because they do take a long time to arrive. Well, not necessarily a long time to arrive, excuse me. They do come in scattered, so it's a long time before all of them are there. And I really want my full strength there. So I'm going to right-click there. I have an advantage that I'm at peace with these guys. If I was at war with them, they'd come after me right away, but I still would be able to kind of take them piecemeal, which is the way I prefer to do this. Rather than going right at the base, having my ships warping in, and, you know, like my first 7 ships having to take on both the base and the enemy ships, the pirate ships, that's not good. I don't want that. So you can watch your progress here. There's the line. They're inbound. They're taking their sweet time. Oh, That's because the game's paused. All right. Well, that would explain it. So here they come. You see, they don't all move at once. Okay, and then it'll be pretty quick. So I'm gonna zoom in here and see what happens, right? You watch, they don't all come in at once. So there they come in piecemeal. Oh, that's a pretty big group, but they are kind of split apart. All right, good. That was much better than usual. And again, they always are improving the game, so I may learn new things as I play new versions. Okay, that's good enough. So I'm playing my ships. They're almost all in formation. I'm going to pause the game here. I'm going to talk to these guys, and I'm going to say, forget you. The agreement's over. So speak with them, offer treaties, cancel the protection agreement. As soon as I do that, these ships are going to be angry, and they're going to come after me, which is good. Now, I also want to make sure my ships don't move to them. So, all right. So I want to say, don't attack anything you see. I want you to sit here and same location. Okay. Now the individual ships may do something. So this override here, I want to change to use fleet tactics instead of ships, because the individual ships, if they're not working as a fleet, although I think they will be here, they may use their own tactics, which I didn't show you, but is set when you build them. It defaults to same system. So now I'm overriding that. And again, why do I have to list it here? I'm not sure, but I think this is for ships versus fleets. So I'm going to say same location here. So individual ships will now be overridden by this. I also wanted to, and I meant to set this actually. I totally forgot to do this, but I'm going to override it. I meant to set their attack stance to be cautious. That will keep them distance if they can keep the distance. And I meant them to do that in the design, so I will change that in the next upgrade. And the same thing with the fleet. I want them to be cautious because I want them, that doesn't mean they're not going to attack. What that means is they'll try to stay back and shoot from a distance. And because they have torpedoes, which are fairly long range, I kind of want that to happen. So I've said it everywhere. The individual ship's design does not have it. In fact, if I click on my newest destroyer, the Fletcher, and I click here, you'll see up here, I forgot to set it. So I really wanted the attack stance versus weaker targets. Not so important, but attack stance versus stronger targets. I wanted that to be not neutral, but to be cautious. See, cautious. So I didn't do that. I'll do that in the next retrofit. But if you are doing it yourself, you could do it earlier, as soon as you do the design. Okay, so we're good. I don't think they're going to go after the base. I'm going to watch them carefully, though. Click on individual ship. And now watch. Oh, see, they came back going there. Okay. So then, see, they're going to attack the den. I don't want them to do that. So another thing I can do right here is just go engage when attacked temporarily, and then switch it back to this or nearby. I could also just tell them to move here, and by the time they finish moving there, that's probably the easiest thing to do. So watch this little trick. Then these guys show up. Let me slow down the game. And so now I get to fight the ships first. And as long as they're busy with the ships, they won't go after the spaceport. So they're going to finish these ships here. These guys are burning wreck. Okay. And they're retreating because they know they're outnumbered. They're getting slaughtered. So once that happens, now I can tell the fleet, which already went. Some of them already went to attack here. Okay. So yeah. It's a little confusing as to what the orders do. My best shot would have been to say only... See, but if I click engage when attacked, some of the ships won't fire at all. So I don't want that either. Anyway, we're good enough here. It should go quick. Again, like I mentioned earlier, you can watch it get damaged so it has less and less weapons. Yeah, this will be very quick. All right, now while this is going on, I'm going to go back to my finances here. And I can't wait to watch this tribute paid expense drop to 4,000. Okay, they're gone. Notice I'll get some of their ships, perhaps. All right, we found out some other information. Oh, Human Empire. That's good. They'll be friendly to me. And our constructors will eventually come up here and pick up these pieces here. They'll get tech from that, potentially. All right, so we're good. They're just finishing off any stragglers. And I guess there's some stragglers over here that they're finishing off. Okay, so we're good. I'm going to send them home. Oh, so this empire we met, the human non-aggression and restricted trade. Good, we need to trade. And then I'm going to send my guys back. If I click here, yes, it's going to, okay, refuel and repair Kaladin. So that's good. So I'm going to pick the bottom left, and that will do it. They're in the middle of a fight. They may continue fighting before they do this. Okay, there they go. So just make sure they go back to the right place, because when you have a lot of places to refuel or repair, they may go somewhere you don't want them to. All right, you see I'm in range to attack these guys, so that's what's next. The whole time I'm working on my ground troops here. I may go back here. Yeah, it's still got a lot to go. I may, I'm not great on money right now, so I think I'm going to wait. Yeah, because I've got a lot of maintenance, so I'm going to wait. I'm not going to rush that one. I'm going to just pray it doesn't have a critical failure. Okay, good. And I'm going to speed the game back up again. A lot of people say playing on ×4 is ruins the game for them. I mean, of course, do whatever you want to do, right? I just I don't want this video to be more. It's already going to be 2 hours long. I don't want it to be 3 hours long. And, you know, I like to get to the action too. So they're going to refuel and fix. There they go. They're refueling. This is pretty good. It doesn't always work as well, but it's working pretty well now. As soon as they're all good, they stay red for a while. Don't be alarmed by this. The health is 100%. It may mean they have a damage component, but usually it's a lag in the system responding to the fact that it's fixed. It will turn green in a short time, even when you're not repairing it. Okay, so see, everybody refueled except one. Now, one thing I usually do, which I haven't done, I'm going to do right now, is I usually build, I'm going to go to Caledon Spaceport, I'm going to build a fuel transport, a fuel tanker, and then I'm going to assign that to Fleet 2, because particularly when I start doing longer missions, so join this to 2nd Fleet. Okay. All right, and I'm going to go attack the next guy that I'm paying tribute to. Let's go see in my diplomacy. That is the Grim Corsairs right here. I'm paying them protection. So they have a terrible reputation anyway. I don't think they would have decided for peace without a protection agreement. I'm going to take them out. That's going to save me another $2,000. Get a little hold on a little handle on my money here. Okay, so there's a way to do this. There's a way to automate your fleets. You could go to select dangerous locations or enemy targets. You can have the fleets do it automatically. I'm going to stick to manual. I do love manual. I do love keeping control of this stuff. I'm going to zoom in by scrolling. I could double click to go to the station. There's the station. Same thing here. I'm probably going to click right over here. But you saw what happened last time. My ships end up going there anyway. But if I kind of keep it close enough that the ships come in first, we'll see what happens. Okay, so move there. Okay, it's going to take a little while. I'm going to let the game go. But I can't wait to get rid of another burden. Oh, by the way, you can also, and I didn't check that before, but when you destroy a pirate base, right, that's another system that has something, another planetary body that you can mine. So usually it'll come up as an option here. That wasn't an option before because their base was there. Oh, good. I got a critical breakthrough. That's great. Okay. All right, these guys are on their way. See, they're coming in piecemeal again. Although they did a pretty good job that time. I was very surprised. And assuming we have enough fuel, we're not too damaged, I'll go right after these guys. I am not paying these guys tribute, but I might as well get rid of them anyway while I'm here. And I'm waiting for my transports and my troops to build. And I'm checking my home, of course, because I'm building troops there. I have a pretty good selection. They're almost done building, so I'm going to build a couple more infantry, maybe 2 more armor. Okay, I want to get like, I don't know, 21, 22. I'm going to use bombardment weapons, so I'm going to take out most of their troops, but the militia will give me trouble. And I need troops to hold it too. Okay, logistics is done. That should save me a little money on my troops now, so 10% savings, that's a good thing. Okay, that might be a scenery bonus. Let's see, not yet. I'm going to check on research, not yet, nothing new. Check on resources, nothing new. This is some good stuff here. Yeah, so see, these are techs I'm not going to use missiles. Although the AI is designing my fighters, so they may improve my fighters if there's a better tech. So you could get to that level of control where you design the actual fighters too. I have done that late game. I usually don't. Okay, the free trade agreement, that's good. So accept. The only problem with these agreements, right, is they're pretty far. I think these are the humans. Yeah, they're pretty far away. So my freighters are going to be busy walking across the entire galaxy, paying fuel costs. It's not optimum. I wish there was some kind of limit that freighters would say, listen, that's way too far away from me. And I don't think there is. All right, here come my ships. Boom. Okay, now we're not at peace with these guys, so they're going to immediately come after. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Am I wrong? Hold on, let me just pause the game. Oh, no, Grim Corsairs. Yeah, no, I am at peace with these guys. Okay, so I'm going to break that agreement. It's going to immediately save me money. Yep, cancel protection agreement. Now they're not happy with me, and they're going to come after me. Here they come. Wow, that's a big fleet. Okay. Little note here, too. You do not want to reorder your fleets to do something until they all arrive. Otherwise, they're going to stop and they're halfway through. Like, this guy would not have gotten here on time. All right, let's see how they're doing. I'll slow the game down a little bit. Yeah, we're taking damage here. Not too bad. Close to 100% here. I'm sure some people are losing shields. This guy looks like he's in trouble. Yep. Oh, he's lost most of his armor, too. That's bad. Now, unfortunately, they're going after the base already. I could tell the fleet to attack one of these ships, so I could go like this, right-click attack, but it's good enough. We got most of them down. Let's go after the base, and that'll pretty much end this conflict. This guy's getting hammered by the fighters. Yep, he's gone. So this is their bombers coming in. Yep. That's what happens when you come in piecemeal. Now they're going to go for my next ship. You'll watch the PD. I think we'll shoot at it. Not that it's going to stop all of them, but it'll be pretty cool. You can watch the different weapon colors. Oh, actually, they're fighting some of my fighters, I think. Yeah, there's one of my poor little fighters here. Look at this guy. He's in for trouble. And he's gone. All right, now my PD's going to... Well, they're shooting the torpedo. I don't like that either, but he's shooting his torpedoes at the fighters. But the PD should start firing when they get close to. I'm not sure what color that is. Of course, it's not going to stop all of them. Now, they're taking their slow time here. So this is another thing that happens is if they're not far enough away, they won't jump here. I guess they're trying to save fuel, but meanwhile, the rest of my ships are getting wiped out. So we're taking some licks here. See, so these guys are dying. These guys are taking their slow time getting here, which just kills me. They could jump here. And actually, these guys may finish it before. Yeah, good. It's just these bombers. See, these bombers are killing me here. Gonna wipe this guy out. Look at that. So that's the trouble here. And that's why PD is good. I didn't have enough, and I have a very low tech PD, but I've got a destroyer here. But you see these bombers are just killing me. This guy's going to go down. Nice of you guys to arrive. These guys haven't even arrived yet. And this thing's almost gone. It's got 33% left. All of its weapons are wiped out, it looks like. All right, here comes some torpedoes. See them? That should finish them. Come on. All right, so that's our money situation is going to get a whole lot better soon. I'm going to let them finish off the rest of these ships. Let's see what state Second Fleet is in. So it looks like we lost all those destroyers that those relics that we had, which is okay. They're cool to look at, but they're slow. Not slow. They're low fuel, so they can't really travel as far. But they're gone, and it seems like I maybe lost a couple of other. Maybe not. Maybe I lost a couple of destroyers. I'm sure I did. Okay. So we're good. This one guy's hanging out here left. I don't know why they're not attacking him. There's some debris here. My Admiral's still on board. That's good. Now look at my Admiral has gained a lot of stuff. A little bit of weapons increase. Definitely hyper jump speed. I love that. And some other good stuff. That speed didn't seem to help them get to that target fast enough, though. All right. Now, they're going to rebuild their fighters, right? The destroyers that have fighters, yeah. They're going to rebuild. See, they have none now. They're 4 buildings, so they're trying to rebuild their fighters. They got wiped out. And a lot of them have shields down. Should see these shields, if they're not damaged. Yeah, they are damaged. Okay. So, I don't know if we can handle the other pirate base, but move everybody over here just so they're all together. Fighting that guy. But I don't feel like they're so close. I'm going to take a risk, and whatever I lose, I'll rebuild. Got the resources now. I'm going to go up to ×4 speed again. All right, these guys I think cannot move. Yeah, they're too hurt. Or they're waiting for a fuel tanker. Okay. picked up a bunch of stuff. Yeah. While they're doing this, I'm going to quickly check, see if there's any more mining locations. Yes, there is. Some good luxury here. Great. And more necros. That's good. All right. See if there's any more research stations. No, that's not good. Okay. Another resort station. Need some bonus money. Okay. Here comes the fuel tanker. He's going to refuel this guy. That'll be cool to watch. So here comes the fuel tanker. Going to pull up next to him, watch his fuel go up. Although he has no hyperdrive, but at least he can get home faster. Oh, he's going to ignore him. Okay. I guess he's fueling somebody else. Yep, he's fueling growing stealth. So if I click here, it'll take me there as growing stealth. So he's going to fuel that guy, who's pretty low. So I'm going to wait for that. Okay, good. And then I'm going to go get that other pirate base just so I don't have to worry about it raiding me. Probably not critically important right now. But I'm here. I'm so close. I hate to wait. All right, so here goes the refueling operations. It's sending shuttles over. There's the fuel. Good. Now he's probably going to get the other guy. Leak affliction. Let's see who that is. Yeah. Okay, this guy. But he's not going to be with us. So all the guys with their broken hyperdrives are not going to be following us. So we're going to definitely have less guys. But I am attacking a pirate I didn't subsidize. So hopefully there'll be no ships or less ships. Okay. So I'm going to click pretty close to the base this time. I'm going to go right in. Could have trouble, but let's see what happens. And hopefully during transit, some of these guys who don't have fighters left, yep, now he's back up to 1 interceptor, 1 bomber. He's building 2 more. Hopefully by the time they get there, the fighters will be replenished. It's so close. I hate to wait and go somewhere else. All right, so my finances should be picking up now. Let's see. Yep, my tribute is dropping. Great. Still not compensating for all this maintenance. But my bonus income's doing really well with tourism, so at least I'm not losing money. But I'm not helping myself here yet with growth. That's okay. I want to conquer this guy before he expands. And he's also in first place, I believe. If I go to my victory conditions here, I'm close. I stole a lot of things from him. The spying is just a little OP, in my opinion. I stole a bunch of techs while you were gone, and yeah, it's just a little OP. Okay, let's go. Finish that. I don't really even need to watch that. I do like to watch particularly early game when it's not a given that I'm going to win easily. And I may drop these other ships that are damaged so badly and let them go on by themselves and build some replacement. I'm only going to replace them with destroyers too. I'm not going to build any more frigates. Later on, when I have higher techs, I send all these frigates off to be on their own on auto and let them kind of, I haven't done that lately, but I'm trying to save money. But I usually build some escorts and frigates, put them on auto, or they're defaulting to auto, and just let them escort some of my ships around. It does make a difference sometimes. Okay, almost done with this. See, I want to, as soon as this is done, I've got to take special forces, which make a big difference, real big difference when you're invading. Okay, my guy's already engaged, I'm sure. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, there were a lot of ships. That's not good. I might have trouble here. Yeah, see, you can't rely on not seeing them. Oh, yeah. And we're all low on fuel. Need a bloodbath. They're going in, though. Let's see what happens. They don't like to do this because if there's ships in transit, which there are. Ooh, let's see, they may get it. They may get it. It's going to cost me most of my fleet. Good, go. Get these guys in there. Hurry up. Now they're going to go through the armor like butter. Get to the... Yeah, that's great because they're damaging the components. All right. Come on. I don't know what we're going to have left, but... What happens when you pick strong pirates? Oh, no, don't stop now. Gone. All right. I don't really care about the stragglers too much. They're not going to do anything. So I'm going to get these guys home. Actually, I'll just click. See, it's going to go back to Ghost Fleet Base, which is my other base. I don't want that. I want them in my home. So I'm going to manually do this. Oh, that's the wrong place. I know I'm doing a lot of scrolling. There are much quicker ways to get here. Like I could just double click right here on my space station. If I zoom out a little further, sorry. I could have just gone right to Caledon Spaceport, double-clicked, and I'd be right there. But it's not selected, so I got to go click left, go back to my last selection, which is my second fleet, hit here, and I'm going to hit. There's a retrofit option, so there might be some ships that didn't get retrofitted, and in that process, it will repair them. So I'm going to do that. All right, now they should head home. Should, they won't always, but ignore their targets, head home, and fix that. Okay, so see, it said foreign ships join me from that 10 ships. Okay, so I've got plenty of ships now on auto. If you go over to military ships, there'll be a ton of ships here on auto. See them? All the A's? Yeah, and they're going to go around and they're going to patrol and escort, so that's great. I didn't have to really... They are drain on my economy, though, under maintenance. But my economy should be doing a whole lot better. Yeah, I don't want to give you my stuff, thank you. Economy should be doing a lot better. At least I'm not draining as much. I still have one tribute. I actually could cancel them because I don't know where they are. They're probably pretty far away and just take the hits at this point. I do have this one defense fleet. Yeah, I may do that because I'm racking up the... Yeah, this could be trouble. Or when they come, that's a deal with them. So I'm going to end this. Oh, there's 2 protection groups. I'm going to end both of these. Because I don't know where they are, so they can't be that close. Now, some people will say this is a waste of time because they're probably going to offer you a... Yeah, they're probably going to eventually offer you a peace agreement that doesn't cost anything, but I'll just take them out in a little while. Not a big deal. Okay, so forget it, buddy. We want this. I'm going to cancel this. Good. Okay, goodbye. And this one. I'm just hoping they're not that close. Cancel that. Okay, goodbye. Good. So now I have no... Yeah, I'm getting some treasure. That's good. 5,000 credits doesn't hurt anybody. Got an extra scientist, although I don't know if he's going to be on my side or not. No, he's not. I got another addict. Now, yeah, see? I'm getting rid of him. There he is. He's an addict. That's a second addict. There'll be more. Okay, no new research bases, no new resort bases. There's one being built. And yes, see, I just freed this up, I think, when I killed one of those pirate bases. So that's good. All right, good. So my fleet's heading back. Oh, and I forgot. I got to stop this because I now can build battlefield sabotage. Okay, I want this right away because that's going to build my special ops troops, which I really want before I invade. I probably could get away without it, and I may be delaying the invasion too long by doing this. I want troop compartments too. That'll hold more troops, though I may not wait for them. All right, so yeah. So, and I guess I could afford to rush now. Maybe I'll rush them. We'll see what happens. It's going to be, 8 years. All right, I'm going to stop that. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just go into the armored infantry and see what happens. I don't think I've ever done that, but I'm usually much further ahead in tech when I'm not playing this difficult. So, yep, I'm going to let that go. So I'm going to get bombardment weapons. I'm going to put some bombardment weapons on some destroyers, and then we'll see what happens. Okay. And the crew systems go quick, and they do help me build better ships. Actually, I don't, yeah, I can ignore that too. So let's go right to bombardment. I might not even wait for enhanced transport. Okay, I'm going to build my transports now. I don't design them. You could. It might make them better. It's one of those things I just don't feel like doing. So I'm going to go to my spaceport, and I should have them available right now. They should, yep, there they are, Troop Transport 4. So they've already made 4 designs, the AI. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 should be enough. I don't know, maybe, depending upon the tech. And I'm going to filter this by troop transports under military ships. And I only have these guys. Select them, make a new fleet, and I'm going to name this First Assault. Okay, they're going to be picking up my troops. So I make sure I'm still building troops. I think I might have, yeah, I don't know that I have enough. I'll build a couple more of each. Usually I have special ops troops, and I have all 3. I'm not going to. We'll see what happens. Migration tree, not interested. Territory map sharing. I don't really care. I don't want my ships going that far anyway. The freighters are already going to do that. All right, so my cash flow is still pretty bad because I've got all this maintenance from troops and things, and it's going to get really bad if and when I conquer this. I don't know if I have enough ships to conquer. Well, I don't have enough ships to conquer them, so after this I'm going to build some more ships. I'll probably bring both fleets in and just risk like a quick assault lightning assault and maybe not have to worry about him trying to take me. Okay. Leave those guys home. Yeah, second fleet's pretty beat up. Oh, that is my only fleet. I'm sorry. I thought I had two. No. I'll just build more ships for this fleet. But I'm rushing here, and that might be my undoing. So we'll see if I can take this with just destroyers. Oh, yeah, I'm on 4 times. Okay, so these guys are either hurt or they're taking their sweet time getting back. Okay, so I've got a lot of damaged ships here. I may leave some behind if they don't make it back in time. Eventually, if they're stranded, your constructors should go and repair them if they're not too busy. I don't have that many. But see, this guy's doing nothing. So I guess they're good enough to get home. Let's see. Always check in for more resources. Yep, fuel, that's good. Another fuel source here. See, it's good to look at what you're, yeah, see, that's pretty far away, but that's good because I want to expand here and don't let him get this. So it's going to strain one of my constructor ships' range, but that's all right. Okay, good. So it's, you can blindly kind of do these because they're usually very local. Oh, that one's not either. But, you don't want something way out here, although if you're way ahead, you can. But all right. So I'm going to click on my first assault. Yeah, they're almost done. And then I'm going to build some more destroyers. And then we're going to have a risky invasion. So I want to get this bombardment weapon here. Though you can bombard without him. It's just you'll eventually run out of fuel over the target. That's another problem, too. He's pretty far away. So I'm going to go in there low on fuel. I may check for fuel sources here. If I turn off my diplomacy, yeah, see, there's a fuel source here, but there's nothing on the way. It'd been nice if there was a fuel source here. That one's not much closer, so that's not going to help me. He's going to take this. I'd love to conquer him before he takes this. And that would make him a good first choice, but he's pretty far away. He's less mad at me, so like if I attack him, the purple, and then the green guys decides to attack me at the same time, that could be problems. Okay, my troop transport's almost done. Second fleet is repairing. Some of them are still inbound, you can see. I don't know where this guy came from. Where was he? No idea. Probably ran away early in the game. Oh, that guy's back to fuel. Okay, we're close. But at least we stopped some of that bleeding, right? Somebody's offered me a gift. We'll take it. That's really nice. Nice little boost for no reason. Yeah, so again, back to my finances. I'm pulling in 11.5 now as my population is getting more developed and there's more of them. But I'm paying a huge ship maintenance here. I'm playing a really big troop maintenance. I've got great bonus income here between I'm selling a lot of resources to other people, to other nations, other empires. And then I had a huge tourism, 9,000. That's really holding this number at a manageable level. Okay. First assault's done. Let's see how much they can hold. So I'm going to go to well, here, I'll show you. Double click here. I'm going to go to Kaladin. I've got to go back to reselect first assault. It's hanging out here somewhere. And I'm going to right click or control right click and hit load troops. Okay. We'll see how many they can hold. So see, now they're up to 90,000. Yeah, they're not going to be able to hold much more. This is because I have pretty early tech here. So 14 troops. That's a tough. I'm going to take a little bit of risk here. That's not a lot. I may want to see there's plenty more on the planet if you look here. So I'm going to build a couple more troop transports. Really don't want to risk this. So I'm going to build them on Kaladin actually because I want to devote this to building other ships. So you can do that. It's just slower, but you can build ships 1, 2, 3, 4 on your colony, which is different from building them on the spaceport. So add that to first assault. I'm going to add him to first assault. See, this is definitely more cumbersome than... Oh, he's already there. It's definitely more cumbersome than using the fleet template, which I do recommend using eventually. No, I don't want that second fleet. Leave that. I want you to join first assault, and the last guy too. Join first assault. Okay, so now I have 4 more transports in there. Second fleet should be coming around. Now, if they're done using the spaceport. Yeah, they are. I want to start building more destroyers. Even though I'm going to build, I may retrofit them in a minute. Let's, oh, did I finish? I did. I finished, okay, so let's do that before I build them. So I'm going to pause the game. I'm going to change them now. It's going to make them less effective at fighting. So, and it's a pretty early game to be doing this, but I'm going to try it anyway. I'm going to take my ship design here. I'm going to change my destroyers. And I'm going to upgrade, just in case there's any new components. And I'm going to change one of these medium torpedoes to be my atomic devastator. So you can see it's a bump. If you click on here and then look at to the right, it says bombard weapon. It's only level 1, so it's not going to be that great, but it's better than the regular weapons. Okay, so we're going to still leave 2 medium torpedoes, small torpedo, and some PD. I've got the fighter bay. Oh, and I'm over the top. Okay, so this is the problem, you see? So I'm going to count on him not having as many fighters, so I'm going to drop that. I really need, I need this torpedo. So I'm going to have 3 torpedoes and an atomic devastator. But it's going to make my ships weaker against other ships because of the atomic devastators only from bombardment. So could be a problem. And save and exit. I'm going to tell Second Fleet to, if anybody here is the Second Fleet. I mean, there's a million ways to get to your ships. I'm just kind of trying to show you different ways to do it. So there's Second Fleet. So I double click on, or one single click. Okay, single click. That's new, but whatever. I could just be wrong. Single click on a ship that you already have selected. That's what it is, I guess. Yeah, and it's going to pick his whole fleet. So there's Second Fleet, mostly repaired. I'm going to tell them all to retrofit. That should go quickly. So now if I click on the spaceport, you'll see they'll all line up. Here they come. And it will certainly fix the damaged ones, and it will retrofit them to have the atomic devastator. Yeah, and then I'm going to be so busy in a short time period that I want to change this, because for the next assault I'm going to use my new troops, so I want to get that done. And I've just got to pray that let's see, that my ships are good enough and I have enough of them. Okay, I'm also at this time going to build more, so I'm still at the Caladan spaceport selected. I'm going to build, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10 more destroyers. Come over here, go down to military ships, turn off that filter, and look at my destroyers here. So all of these are, no, not all of them are new, but most of them are. Okay, so all these are not in a fleet, and they're destroyers. They're getting built, so I'm just going to, see they're not in a fleet. He is, so I don't want to touch him. He's not. And I'm going to join all these ships to Second Fleet. Okay, so now Second Fleet's going to be pretty well off. Notice my maintenance is starting to kill me, so I've really got to get this invasion off the ground soon. I'm going to tell my assault fleet, which I believe is here. Yep. Tell them to pick up the rest of these stragglers, load troops at Caladan, watch them go up. So now they can hold 175. Yeah, they're going to grab the rest. I think they're going to grab the rest of those guys. Are they built? Yeah, they're built. If you don't want a guy to go, you can click on a troop and say garrison, and then that troop won't get picked up by transports. That's really important later on after you conquer something. Okay, first assault. You could hold more. Why are they not? Well, they can't take any more for some reason. All right, well, we've got 10 armor, 8 infantry. It's going to be close. But I'm going to drag, otherwise I'm going to drag this video on forever. So I'm really hoping Second Fleet catches up to us sooner than later. Yeah, it's still building. Okay, so but we're up to 5,000. It's going to be tight, but we are going to have the element of surprise. We're going to walk right into their system, declare war right in front of their base, destroy the base, fight any enemy ships, and then bombard and then land. Okay, so normally I like to have cruisers, light cruisers, and I make those my bombardment ships, and I actually make a bombardment fleet, and then I leave these guys just to fight. I leave their weapons. I don't retrofit them like I did. I leave their weapons the way they were, and then I have the bombardment fleet bombard, and these guys will join it after. But it's good to have 2 fleets, so one fleet is constantly keeping everybody away from the transports and the bombardment ships, and then the bombardment ships focus on bombarding, but I'm not going to have that luxury right now or time. I really don't want them to expand anymore before. See, this guy's already expanded, see, but Green has not, probably because he's so boxed in, and that's why he's a good target. Purple's a great target for two reasons. I could get close to Solon to grab that, which would be a great, easy, early moneymaker, except for the Nebula, I'm not sure. But I get once I take the purple, I get all these bases too. So when you conquer an empire, you're going to pick up all of their bases. And that's going to be a lot of luxury resources and, of course, construction resources too. Whereas this guy, I'm not going to pick up that many. It's sometimes good to know if they have a special resource. There are four special resources that make a ton of money. If they had one, I might prioritize them too. But I'm really afraid of this guy, the green hive here, to attack me while I'm attacking the purple. So I'm going to go green first. And if I pull off these two and I get Sol eventually, I'm good. I think I can win the game. And if you look at my victory conditions right now, of course you don't know a lot of other empires, but I'm doing pretty good. Where am I? Oh no, doing pretty bad. I'm at the last place. Oh, it's okay. I'll pick it up once I get these income sources. Yeah, I'm taking on this guy. No, I'm taking on the hive. This guy. See, he may be way ahead of me. Yeah, he might have trouble. Only thing I have on my side is surprise and my custom design of my ships. Yeah, I don't know. This might not work. And then we'll just end the video and say that I lost. But if I had more patience, I might wait and get some more tech. But you see, the longer I wait and the less income I have, because I only have one colony, the less time I'm doing this, contributing to my research here. My research is going really slow. And I'll be honest with you, 4 resource bases, 2 resource bases, that's rare, even in this tiny expansion. I did get kind of boxed in. That was against me. I didn't find any more research stations. That's against me. So yeah, this was a pretty tough start. I'm not saying I shouldn't be able to beat it or somebody else couldn't. I'm sure they could, but it's going to be tough. If I get lucky and take this place, which we'll find out very shortly as soon as these guys... I'm not going to wait for everybody to be healed, but the new guys, at least, that are coming out. See, it says no mission here, so I'm assuming they got retrofitted. So to check that, right, just click on some random destroyer that wasn't recently built, and you'll see it'll say version 2. So that's how I know he's upgraded. You can click on version 2 and say, there's the Atomic Devastator. So that's how you know, yeah, most of the ships, and I don't care if all of them have been upgraded. In fact, it probably would have been smart not to upgrade all of them or retrofit all of them. Okay, so they say they're done, but see, these ships are still being built. But the retrofit is done. Well, that guy looks dead. Oh, no, that's the guy currently being built. So you can see him. He's almost at 100%. We got another gift. That's really nice. It's great to meet other humans here. Although I'm not really falling behind here yet, but it's close. So, you know, I might be... Again, if I had a little more patience, I'd probably build a second fleet. If I don't take this quick enough, he's certainly going to come in and take some of my bases. He may even try to assault my home, but maybe we'll catch his transports at home when we get there. See, by default, it makes the Ghost Fleet, which is this one over here, its home. It's so weird that it does that. I don't know why it does that. I'm going to right-click on my Caledon spaceport and make it the set home base there. Okay, we're almost done. I think that's the last new ship. These are just either damaged or they haven't, yeah, it hasn't been updated by the system. I think these 2 guys are damaged. You can find out where they are. Oh, they're nearby. I don't know why they don't want to fix themselves. Sometimes I can, yeah, I'll say repaired Caledon. So it's not using up the spaceport's queue here. And maybe I'll get his armor fixed. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. Why I can't do it on its own, I don't know. The other guy that was damaged was here. And I'm going to tell him the same thing, repair Caledon. Because they may be waiting for all these new ships to be built before they get repaired. Okay, so everybody's ready. Yeah, there's second fleet. So they're more or less ready. Those 2 may follow us. And here we go. So, can't promise you I don't know what's going to happen. We may be able to, yeah, if we have a trading ship here, we may be able to get a look. Now there's a lag here, which is pretty normal. But it doesn't crash, which is great. So, yeah, there's his spaceport. I don't see any other ships. And this does look like a live feed, because we probably have a trader in there. So, I don't know where his ships are. If I did, I'd be much more comfortable. They'll probably come back to defend his home. And by then, his spaceport will be destroyed. So, that's pretty cool. All right, he may pull this off. I don't know. So, I'm going to land right next to his spaceport. We're at peace, so he's not going to do anything. I can even wait for my ships to show up, and they won't go off on their own to attack anything. I do want to make sure that their tactics are set to same location. That's good. I don't want them running off attacking. Because if you don't do that, and you're here attacking, they're going to run off attack this base over here and leave your transports and everybody else wide open. Now, you notice I have not sent the transports yet. I want a little gap between them so that these guys can clean up and then bombard for a while, and then the transports will come in. But I will soon. I want to make sure they're capped off here. Oh, now see, there's a retrofit available. I'll try that. That may give them more space. I haven't been watching my text lately to see what's going on. Well, I've got this little downtime too. I may assign. Yep, I'm going to assign more. That's yeah. These are. I always want fuel. I always pick fuel. And let's see if there's any more. No more research bases. No. Oh, there are more resort bases. Okay, good. So I'll keep my constructors busy while there's wars going on. All right. So yeah, I'm in no rush. Let's see if they hold more. No. Yeah, they're just either getting. I don't know what they're getting, what they're retrofitting to, but. The AI is handling their design, so he must have changed something. But they're not. See, their capacity is not above 175, so I'm not sure I'm going to pick up any more armor or infantry off the ground. 18 is going to be tight. We'll see what happens. Okay. So I'm going to click on them, and I'm going to tell them to stop retrofitting. I don't know what it's giving them, really, honestly. Maybe more fuel. And I'm going to say, yep. See, I can't even pick up more troops, so I don't really care. There are more troops here. Yep, but they just can't carry them. So we'll see. I could have built a few more transports. We'll see what happens. Okay, so right before these guys arrive, because this is going to keep me busy, I'm going to tell the assault group to start heading over right before, and I explained this in my guide under the invasion section. Right before they arrive there, or even right after they arrive there, I'll tell them to show up. And I'm going to put them right where these guys are, so in case there's still fighting going on. There won't be. It'll either be over one way or another. Okay, here they come. So I'm going to pause the game. I'm going to tell, I still have my assault fleet selected, which is back at Cowden, despite their home base here. And they've got my troops here, which is not a lot. I'm going to tell them to come right here, so move right here. See, you don't want to tell them to move to a spaceport, not that it's our spaceport anyway, because if that gets destroyed, then their move command gets kind of canceled. So I'm going to tell them to move right here. They're going to just show up right here in a little while. So I think everybody's arrived. Actually, not quite. Now here comes some more. Here they come. Yeah, it's going to be a slaughter. Okay. All right, good enough. Now, there may still be some in transit. In fact, you can kind of check. I don't see any. Oh, one guy. So he's going to, by me giving them orders as a fleet, he's going to get delayed. It's fine. I don't really care. I think we're outnumbered. I'm going to click on his spaceport. I'm going to click on his empire. I'm going to speak to him and do the most treacherous thing ever and attack him while my fleets are sitting right there. So I'm going to declare war on you. He's going to say something, how ironic, we were just about to declare war on you. I bet that's true. And then I'm going to order the fleets that are here. Of course, there's a couple more stragglers on the way, maybe one more. I'm going to tell them to attack the spaceport, which is their biggest defense. Their ships will show up very shortly, and then my ships will automatically attack them as they get close. I don't see any other combat ships, maybe over here. Oh, yeah, here we go. A couple frigates, good, we can handle that. Maybe 3 destroyers. And they'll bring more in. But we'll take this out, and then we'll face them. We'll just let my fleets do whatever. Okay, I'm going to go to speed 1 and go. All right, so here it goes. Let's see if we can pull this off. All right, so here come their fighters. And my fighters are coming out. Here they come. They're very weak, my fighters, right? Can't quite. There's one. So he's going to go after one of his bombers. He's probably going to get annihilated. Let's see what happens to him. See, I've got the fighter selected. You can watch. I guess the AI did not design them with armor. Okay. All right, here come their ships. There's a troop transport. I'd love to destroy that. I don't want that going to my home. If this thing's not quite close to dying just yet. Now they're attacking another. Yeah, good. Okay, that's fine. I kind of wish they would just ignore everybody, attack the spaceport, get it out of the way. All right. And yeah, once the shields are down, they will go through and start damaging components. Good. There they go. See? Components getting damaged. They're losing defense components, weapons. Good. It'll be over very soon, that part. And now they're all in range and they're not busy killing other things. Okay. By the way, if you manage to leave the spaceport there and you take the colony, you get the spaceport for free. But I gotta make sure we're unopposed here. All right. So these guys are coming. Yeah, here they come. I don't want to bombard yet. I mean, I could start to bombard. I really want to take these guys out. They should arrive soon. But I want to make sure my fleet actually doesn't move there on their own. So I'm going to tell them to move here. I don't want them going in piecemeal. See, basically their fighters and my fighters are kind of fighting it out here. So even though I don't tell my ships to go there, the fighters are heading there. All right, so I'm going to tell them to attack the lead ship here. Looks like this destroyer. They won't just attack, which is kind of good, right? They won't just attack the lead destroyer. They'll head over here. They will shoot at other ships that are closer or more threatening to them. All right, I don't want to deviate too far away from here because my transport's going to be showing up soon. All right, I'm going to speed this up a little bit just for your sake. All right, once they kill that guy, they'll focus near the guys. They're running away. That's good. Awesome. We haven't really lost much at all. I'm sure this is all light damage. Yeah, not bad. Light damage. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to move them back here. I really don't care about, you know, the other bases around. Move them right over there. He'll come to me, and we will defend ourselves, even when we're bombarding. But I don't want to get involved with all these bases, just it's a waste of time. And I do want to be near my transports when they show up. Here comes another ship here. All right. All right. And here comes that straggler we were talking about. So here we go. So I'm going to sit bombard and watch what happens. So click on bombard. You can see he's got way more troops than I could ever handle. But my bombardment is going to really... The sound effects are cool here. And you can see them bombarding the planet here. I'm going to slow the game down again. Right, so that's really cool. The other weapons do bombard too, but the bombardment weapons, the atomic devastators, are going to do better damage. So you can see his troops are already... His strength is reducing, his troops are reducing. See, it's dropping down, and you can watch the red. He's going to lose that armor division there. Right, he's got no PD, which we'll talk about later. Good. So I'm going to speed up the game, watch his troops die. Now, he is losing population too, which is going to help us because we can't possibly handle that population, but it is lost. Okay, so see, I'm under attack here, right? So I'm going to go back to Caledon and see what's happening. One ship is coming in, an escort. And we do have that other old pirate fleet here, so they're going to defend. But I should have started building a new fleet, so I should have built, and I'm just going to let them, I'll build a couple of destroyers, right? But they're not, you know, they're not, or maybe I'll build the frigates because they don't have atomic devastators. I really don't want to build these atomic devastator Fletchers. So I'll build, 4 frigates there. I think I caught him by surprise. I don't think he's going to have an invasion force. So even if he wiped out my space station, it's not the end of the world. I don't want that to happen because of the resources, but I want to take this quickly. All right, let's let the game go. I'm going to keep an eye on this. It will also, in theory, it will drop the quality. I think it depends upon the weapons you're shooting. See, it's not dropping right now. And that's bad for you. But whatever. I can't possibly take this planet on a pure, just main assault without bombarding. Bombarding is killing my reputation. So you see my reputation. Oh, they made it worse. Good. So that's going to affect a lot of things, including my income, right? But it will go back up over time relatively quickly. But they made it, oh wow. They really made a nice penalty. Here come my transports. We're not ready for them quite yet. Well, we're actually close. I'm going to move them close, though. Move them, because I want them to all drop at the same time. I'm going to move here. Now, you see, he's got a bunch of combat ships here, and I don't think we're defending ourselves well. So I'm just going to attack them. So I'm going to stop my bombardment really quickly. They're going to take out these ships. Clear the area for my transports. There we go. Kill those guys. Whoa! Now, see, they went somewhere else, and this is what I'm not happy about. Where did they go? They went... Yeah, they're going out of system chasing somebody, even though I have the tactics set to the same location. So, someone explain that one to me. And they've left my transports open. So, again, this is why I have to super manage the ship. So, I'm going to right-click on this guy. They'll come back, but they're going to lose some momentum here. It's driving me crazy. And I'm probably going to lose more ships than I needed to. Now, my transports, I forgot to do this too. See, he just took some damage. That's not good, but that's because my fleet left. I'm going to set their tactics to engage when attacked. Okay, and I'm going to override ship tactics. Use fleet tactics. Engage when attacked. Okay, so I don't want them running off anywhere, and they will start to try to board other ships. And I'm going to try to bring them closer where my fleet's going to be over here. But I'm already losing. He's not bad. Yeah, but I'm already taking damage because my fleet decided to leave me here. Are they back? Yeah, they're back. But they're over here. See? Yeah, great. I really need them to move over here, so I'm going to tell them to make a move command. Right-click move command. These little guys, those are freighters, not worried about that. That little crab thing is a mining ship, so we're good. And we'll take out this mining base in the way. Alright, so looks like we're okay. I'm going to go back to bombarding. Go back to bombardment. Drop my reputation again, but I just can't take these guys unless I bombard. You need like a 3-to-1. I have 3,000. Yeah, there's no way I could take it. I might not even be able to take it now. He's got special forces there. That's really bad. If I tried to land, so I'm going to let them all go down to 0. Here they go. They're pretty quick. And then I want to pause right away because I want to destroy at least the population as possible. And okay, so pause the game. So, you know, it's a little weird that you could destroy. It'd be nice if you could destroy them all if there was like a minimum. Or you could damage them but not destroy them or something like that. Or you have to have special weapons to do that. But you could basically do what I just did and destroy all of the ground troops. But when I invade, I'm still going to get the militia coming up. So it's going to still be tight. Let's see what happens. So now I'm going to right-click with my assault group selected. My transports hit attack. And these guys are going to now go to cover. So it's going to move them. They'll automatically defend, even if I give them a move command. I'm going to move them over there. And let's watch the assault. Okay, here come my troops. So if you watch the battle here, there we go. And this empire will be out of the game in about 5 seconds. Yeah, see, I didn't need as many. I probably needed them all, but I could have done it with less. He had an overwhelming defense here. All right, it's going to be a little bit of lag, and then it's going to say, which I'd love to see this have like a little more fanfare in some future version. I'm sure it will. All right, they're gone. And I'm going to hit dismiss. And now I own the planet, even though it's going to rebel 1 or 2 times potentially. Okay, this is a special event. I'm just rushing through it. You can, of course, when you're playing, I want to take a look at that. So I'm going to immediately hit repair because repair will also refuel. So I now own this planet. I do have its resources. I'm going to hit repair. If I did not conquer him, if he had another colony, I might be very cautious here and not build a spaceport right away, but I can build a spaceport. So I'm going to build a spaceport. I'm also going to build a facility here. I'm going to build the planetary administration complex. It's going to help with the development. And you're going to see I'm losing a ton of money now, okay? And the reason I'm losing a ton of money is because if you click on the population here, I have 0 assimilation, excuse me. 0 assimilation, and that's going to hurt me badly. So it's going to make my corruption really high. Look at this, 48%. So I'm losing a lot of money. But as long as they're 32%. Their suitability is above 20%. This will start making me money fairly quickly. I just have to survive this next few years or so. All right, but I do have, and as I zoom out, I'll show you I've got all of their space now. Okay? So what I'm probably going to do next is have them repair here. And then I'm going to have them kill these 2 pirates, get them out of my hair. And then I'm going to, so he's got a second colony. So it's not going to be so swift here with these guys. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to probably get cruiser technology, make the bombardment fleet, get special forces. And then I'm going to attack these guys. I should be able to handle it no problem, as long as nobody else attacks me. What's nice is there's nobody over here, which is great. And there's an independent, which I may grab, but again, he's too far right now. So that's what I'm going to do next. But now that I've gotten this, and if I let the game run a little bit, you'll see maybe an improvement. But believe me, this will quickly go up. The assimilate will happen relatively quickly. Let's see if I can almost watch it happen. I mean, it's going to take a little while, but so you'll see it'll be at 1% pretty soon. And when this building comes in, it'll help too, as far as happiness and things. So it's taken a while. Okay. And again, each version, they sometimes fine-tune this stuff. So I will take a loss for a long time. So I do not want to build any more ships. I don't want to build any more troops. They will rebel once or twice, maybe. Let's see. No, I don't think they will. Maybe they won't. So I need to leave all those troops there. Notice they're automatically garrisoned because the AI knows I need to keep them there. I'm going to get a bunch of breakthroughs from all the parts. That's great. So I'm going to reevaluate my tech, although I'm going to go for light cruisers. I'm going to go for faster warp. But I'm going to end it here. So I survived, and I'm relatively confident that if I don't wait too long, I can take this guy's 2 colonies here. I may just bombard this one to oblivion if it's not a good planet. Take this planet here, take these Indies here, and as long as I can make friends with this, I may even pay him off. But he looks relatively friendly for me now. I'll be good. I can catch up on my, eventually, right, get this number to match this number. Now, look at all the research I picked up because of his research basis, right? I picked up all these research bases. That's why delaying was going to be very costly for me because I'm missing out on all this research. More important than getting my economy settled first. So I really, really, really am glad I did this. Even though it's not funded, I'm still making more than double what I was doing before in research. It's going to allow me to catch up on things. I may actually invest in some things to help. See, I got system governance. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go back to my colonies. I must have gotten that from stealing it or from when I conquered them. So this building will upgrade. I'm going to do that right now. And when he's done with this building, that will also upgrade. It's not done yet. I'll upgrade that. So I may start investing in tech stuff right now, but I'm not going to rush any tech. I got to be really careful because I'm taking a huge, huge support hit from this guy. Though, look at all my, I'm getting a lot of this. And also, my civilian ships just doubled because I took another, let's see, I have 11 construction ships now, and I also have 16 exploration ships. So that's not too many. But if I look here, I have a ton more. And I have more places that I can build because that's from his empire that I just took. I might have more research. I don't. And I certainly am sure I have more resources that I'm going to click off here. I'm not really worrying about where they are because I'm assuming they're in. But, be smart about this. I'm kind of rushing it to check where you want to build these places. You don't want to build too far out from here where you can't defend. All right, so that's it. So I survived it. I'm confident I can take the Akadarians next, and then take, through diplomacy, take those other 2 Indies there, and then as long as nobody bothers me, kind of let my economy catch up, because each time you're going to lose, you're going to have to pay this huge cost, as you can see here. But you see it's dropping, and it will continue to drop as I assimilate this population. All right, I hope the video was enjoyable. I know it's long, but myself personally, I hate looking at like part 3, part 4s if I don't have to. And again, like I said, make sure you go watch some of the other YouTubers, because they have some great videos on this stuff, particularly for beginner stuff that I saw, and maybe some like top 10 tip ones are pretty good. And I'll see you on the forums. Take care.